St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all you happy folks out there. If you are still sober or sober-ish, welcome to the show. We got a lot to talk about. One of the greatest soccer games ever happened today. Well, I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but entertainment value. Oh, my word. We want to know your thoughts on that FA Cup game. Yeah, you know it. It was Manchester United hosting Liverpool. One of the biggest games in the world because... yeah, it's always fun to watch those two teams go at it. What an outcome. Didn't see that coming. We're talking about that. We're talking about some of the other FA Cup games. We're talking about the Champions League draw, the Europa League draw. We're talking about the Europa Conference League draw. If it happened this week, we're talking about it. Did you know, by the way, Captain America, Christian Pulisic, with his fourth straight goal in a game. Unbelievable. 4 games in a row, he scores a goal. He is absolutely flying. We're talking about all of that. We are talking about a lot more. We're talking about a player, a very distinguished player, who may want to come to the MLS. Brooks, calm down, chill. Yes. You've wanted this player for a while. He may be coming to the MLS this summer. We're going to talk about that. Definitely not. We've got a lot of other things we're talking about. Before we get to that, I do want to say hello, a big hello to the boys in the studio, and a big happy birthday to Nate, because tomorrow is Nate's birthday. Nate, happy early birthday, my friends.
I'm not sure why I'm sober here either.
Yeah, neither am I.
Yeah, that was a bad life decision.
Ooh.
Spent the day driving.
Oh, that doesn't sound... Where did you go?
Where didn't I go?
No.
All of Oakland County.
Oh, that's not fun. That's not
All
fun.
of Oakland County. Started in Milford, then went to Livonia, then went to Ann Arbor, then went to, screw that. I'm just happy to be here with you guys.
I think Ann Arbor's in Washtenaw County.
Whatever, Brooks.
Confirmation of the dancing girls.
Dancing girls?
Just got confirmation.
Good.
Happy birthday.
Good.
Good old lap dance for you.
Ooh.
All right.
When will they be showing up?
About 11:05.
All right.
At least they're showing up.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be speaking to all the wonderful people. I'm even happy to see Brooks.
Even happy to see Brooks. But, Nate, you've got to be extra happy. 1, because it is your birthday tomorrow. But 2, your team's...
All of the teams won. All of them, except for my 2014 teams that I did coach. Outside of that, that's just... they need a better coach. That's just... Can I resign like Tuchel and Klopp? Just like...
One of them will be over there.
But all my teams won.
Good for you, buddy.
Yay.
Yeah, good for you.
And I watched Villa today.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it.
You watched Villa over the FA Cup quarterfinal game?
Well, it was on at the bar. No, it was on at the bar when I was drinking at the bar. That's where I started in Milford, drinking at the bar.
The Villa game was first, right? Villa game was
Your
first.
Villa game was
and
first.
Led into the
Don't come at me like that.
Who played today?
These accusations.
Who played today?
Where?
Who played today?
Oh, United versus Liverpool.
No, I mean, who did Villa play today?
Oh, West Ham.
Was that even on TV?
Yeah, it's somewhere. USA,
All right.
buddy.
Actually broadcast
Onward.
Yeah, USA Network. It's in between AEW Wrestling.
AEW Wrestling. Well, Danny, welcome back to the show. How are you, my friends? Doing all right?
Yeah, great, mate.
Yeah?
Absolutely fantastic.
I say you've had a good day today as well, huh?
I've had a good day today. Yeah, that game was actually one of the. We'll talk about it a little bit later on, but yeah, it was a good day. I loved it. Just brilliant performance by the lads. I actually had some good ECNL games this morning. And I've had a good week of high school. High school started this week, which is good. Shout out to my Marion girls who did very well yesterday in preseason games, which is positive. And only 4 days away from spring break, so yay.
Yoo. All right, Brooks, how are you, buddy? You good?
Yeah.
Long week for you, huh?
Yeah, it was. Let's see what I do. Saturday, I drove up to East Lansing to watch the men play Dayton. No youth games. And then... did I do something Friday night? No, I didn't do anything Friday night. That's next Friday. I have something to do. And then...
Why did you stumble on Friday night there? Did you go on a date and not want to tell anybody?
I did not.
I think you stumbled a little bit there.
Did not go on a date. I was trying to figure out if I did anything. And then watching all the some USL League One, some
Right? Yeah,
USL
that started
Championship and MLS Next Pro. Man, it was a whole weekend of American domestic soccer.
There was. You know what I find funny, though, Brooks? Every week we do this as part of our intro, right? I tell everybody what we're going to be talking about. I say hello to the guys, what we do this weekend.
Yeah.
And we get to you, and you're like, yeah, let me think about that. It comes every week, right?
Dude,
This
write it
thing.
down.
Yeah. He knows it's coming, I think. I don't know. You just forget.
Make it up.
Make it up.
Today I wrestled a person at the bar. We got out of hand. I drank some chocolate milk with my cereal. Hired.
Very easy to make this.
Yeah,
stuff
just
up,
make
right?
it. No one's gonna challenge you. Met.
He's just being a charismatic enigma.
He definitely is that.
Enigma.
Definitely is that.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I get you, bro.
By the way, I take offense to that. You're happy to see me too, huh?
Oh, stop! You're wearing a lacrosse shirt.
No, I'm not.
What is that?
It's a San Diego Loyal
Oh,
soccer shirt.
We have
Are you sure about that?
we have
Yes.
a comment.
we have an early comment.
We have an early comment. Unfortunately, it's not on one of our social media
jeez.
platforms. It's my girlfriend Jan is actually texting to show, and she says, and I
Okay.
quote, "Y'all need to get Brooks a girl."
We're trying.
They're trying.
You could possibly help with this situation, Jenna.
Yes, you could.
Help us out.
Yes.
All right, boys, let's jump in. Lots to get to. Let's jump into that big game. We always pick a game of the week. Every week I pick a game of the week, and it seems it's either been Man United, Man City, or Liverpool for the past 4 weeks. It just so happens that it's big game time right now, right? And you can't really beat Manchester United versus Liverpool, two of the biggest clubs in the world going at it. FA Cup quarterfinals. This one at Old Trafford, right off the bat, I thought just went at it. Nate, you know what? We usually let Danny start when we're talking about Man United. You, my friend.
Birthday boy.
Yeah.
Yay.
Tell us about the game.
So, as you know, I was traveling around, and I still somehow managed to be radio silent for this whole thing. It was off all socials. No one texted me and ruined this thing. It was absolute silent, absolute gold. Actually, at one point, Mr. Dan Wilco, because I was coaching his son earlier, he's like, the result of the game? And I went, nope. And I just kept walking. And so no one spoiled it. I somehow went through all of this unknown, right?
How is that possible?
I don't know. So I'm turning on the TV now, 7 o'clock at night to watch this game. Actually, about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Folding laundry as I do it because it's been a rough weekend. And I'm like, oh. There's 4 hours on this thing on ESPN. I'm like, something happened, right? So I don't know the score, but I know something happened. Watching this whole thing, I'm like, oh God, this is, but something's gonna happen, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, something
and then
definitely
bam,
happens.
right? Bam, right? We're even. I'm like, sweet, extra time. I accidentally I saw them tie it up. I'm like, it's going to pens, right? It's gonna go to penalty kicks. There's 58 minutes left, whatever. I accidentally double tapped or something fast forward, and then it cut to the commentator. And I'm like, wait a minute.
That ended early.
Wait a minute. What happened here? And then it so happened to saw the last goal, had to go back another 30 seconds and actually finish watching it. But it was completely comical what happened. And then I was like, oh, shit. It didn't end in pens. What the hell? So it was, even though I knew something wacky happened, it still ended up being a surprise.
Good for you. And that's a nice early birthday surprise.
Yeah.
So I got to ask, boys, listen, how come this Man United team can't put in performances like that every week?
It's hard.
That was, for this season, very, very unique performance. They went toe-to-toe with the team that, in my opinion, is the top 2 team in the world right now, right?
It was the best. It was the best 35 minutes of football I've seen in 10 years at Man United. It was absolutely incredible. The first 35 minutes were absolutely incredible, and then we kind of had a little spell just before halftime where we we shit the bed. But it was a great game. It's so open. It was so ironic, right? You think about 2 great managers that have proven themselves to be good tacticians, and tactics literally went out of the window in the first 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
it was so open and end to end. But what a great advertisement. And everybody's like, people were saying on social media and Twitter and Facebook and all that sort of stuff, like the allure and the magic of the FA Cup has kind of come back in recent years. And this whole weekend, all those FA Cup games, even Coventry against Wolves, just absolutely fantastic. But that was probably the best FA Cup game that's done it justice in the tournament for probably 20 years that I've been watching.
Sure. Yeah, it was
so
entertaining, high value. I mean, I'm no offense when I say this. I hate both clubs equally, and I went back and forth of who I want to win. I was like, no, I want them to win. Oh, they're playing better. Oh, no, I want them to win. They deserve it. Back and forth, teeter-tottered. What a matchup. What entertainment for someone who doesn't have a dog in the fight.
So
it was brilliant.
What was wild was when Anthony came on,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm still going, something's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. What was funny is they started then talking about how bad of a signing was, and then they go, if he could just score, might even turn him around. And I'm like, I bet he's gonna freaking score. I bet he's gonna score. Like, it was just based on like something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
something's gonna happen.
It reminded me of that. It reminded me of our same scoreline. The Man City. Man United game just before Fergie retired when Mark Hughes was manager. The 4-3 game with Michael Owen scored the winner at stoppage time. It reminded me of that, and then 3-3, right? 3-3. 2-2, and then the ball over the top for Rashford and the touch to just put it wide. I was like, oh my God, there it is. There's the winner. A great touch as well. What a great first touch.
And that right there is why he is not an elite striker in the world, because an elite striker puts that. He is clean. The first touch. Unbelievable. You got to do the simple part and put the ball in the net, kid.
But then 15 minutes later, Liverpool go up 3-2, and then he scores I thought a more difficult goal. A central position surrounded by two Liverpool players.
I'll agree with you, but also I think there was less time to think. There was less time for him to think.
Yeah.
He just thought, I got to hit this. And he doesn't think, and he just does what comes naturally, puts the ball on goal. Right? When he goes the prior one, he has to think, what do I want to do? Left, in his legs, go right. I'm going to go right. Well, that was a terrible hit. But I was disappointed with Rashford. I think it's just me disappointed with Rashford overall for this year, because he's such high expectations.
He's been disappointing this whole year, but this game he was actually all right. And I think the last game
they showed so much guts and guile and grit, determination. It was a gutsy performance, and like you said, they went toe to toe with. And Klopp had his 11 out today.
Yep.
Didn't have a crap team out. He had his 11 out today, and they went toe to toe with him, which I was really surprised at. And it showed a lot of guts and determination. But I will say this: Liverpool let United off the hook in the second half.
Absolutely,
they blew it.
They dominated for about 30 minutes, and they should have put. There was a 5-on-2 or 5-on-3, and they should have put the ball in the back of the net there. Bad mistake by Gakpo, pushing the ball in the wrong way. Absolutely let them off the hook, and that's where the game turned. It was right there.
It was almost like they were complacent, like they knew that they're like, we got this, because they were dominating so much in possession, and in United's third, that they were just like, I felt like it was like one of those where like they felt they had it in the bag, and therefore like. Mentally, the effort on the chances maybe was a little bit lacking when they should have just put it away. They should have absolutely put it away, and they didn't. And thank you.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, Nate. 100% agree. But here's some stats, right? I know we don't really like to dig into the stats too much, but shots on goal, 11 apiece, right? Shot attempts, 28 for United, 25 for Liverpool. Fouls, 11-12. Yellow cards, 1-3. 3 for Liverpool. Corner kicks, 5 for United. 8 for Liverpool. And fouls, 8-7 in favor of Man United. A very very balanced game. They went toe-to-toe with one of the best performing teams in the world right now. And came out on top.
It was a dramatic fairy tale FA Cup game that we miss. We genuinely miss.
The allure of the FA Cup has definitely gone, but I think it is now back. This game and a couple of the games yesterday, by the way.
Those games, you take the fact that it's an FA Cup quarterfinal, it's at Old Trafford, it's between Man United and Liverpool. There was an interesting stat that you didn't read that actually came out on Sky Sports after the game, and that was Liverpool's 11th defeat in the FA Cup by Manchester United. That is the most ever of any club. So Liverpool have been beaten by Man United 11 times in the FA Cup, which is the most by any club in the competition. So, they seem to have their number. But it was, and the interesting part is in 2 weeks they return to play Liverpool. Liverpool return to Old Trafford in 2 weeks to play them in the league. So
let me ask you this: let me ask you this, because this happened a couple of years, last year or 2 years ago. Villa and United played within a week at Old Trafford, I believe it was. And Villa lost in the FA Cup, but we won in the league. And I wanted the league points. And I still to this day would probably prefer the league points just based on Aston Villa alone. But what would you rather have? Would you rather have a thrilling game like today for the FA to move on to the FA Cup, or a thrilling game like today for 3 points in the league? What would you rather have?
I don't know, because we're at a different point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we he's still vying for a trophy, and obviously with the FA Cup draw coming out today, that
We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes, by the way. Yeah.
yeah, just I think it obviously depends, because obviously Villa and Tottenham dropped points today, so United have got a game in hand now for this weekend. So I think,
but that game is against Liverpool.
yeah,
And that could be, I mean, if Liverpool come in here and
I
go,
think every
we
game-
remember what you did 2 weeks ago, we're going to get you for the 3 points, right?
yeah, I think everybody knows it's going to be a difficult match, and Liverpool are still going for the league title, aren't they? So it'll be difficult, but I don't think it'll be as open as it was today.
No.
I don't think it will be as open as it was today, and hopefully by then United have got a few more players back from injury, because they looked done today. They put in a lot of work today.
I was about to say they put in a lot of work,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of games coming up here. So, well, actually, now everybody's going to disappear for internationals, right, in the next week here. So international break comes up. We'll talk about that. We're going to discuss the U.S. men's national team roster. We're going to discuss the England roster. I know, Danny, you and I have had some conversation about the England roster, as of all of us. That is all coming up. Before we get to that, I do want to say a big, big thank you to our partners. A big thank you to Soccer World. SoccerWorld.net is where you can get all your soccer gear needs. A big thank you to Next Level Training. Very much appreciate Aaron, Dylan, Renato, Scotty Wright, and the boys at Next Level Training. Thank you so much. Thank you to Thomas McGee's. Thanks for showing all the games. Big games coming up very soon as well. Get to Thomas McGee's for all of those games. Big thank you to the Michigan Jags. My son went and played in Indiana down at Grand Park, just outside of Indianapolis, with the Jags this weekend. What a phenomenal experience that is for those kids. A big thank you to one of our newest sponsors, The Football Doc, Dr. Zach Atwood, for all your physical therapy needs. Listen, visit The Football Doc. You can find him on all of our socials. Great dude, great doctor. He'll get you back into playing shape. All right, let's. I don't know if we want to round up. If you guys want to talk any more about that particular game, I think we've, from my standpoint, what an entertainment game. Value was surely there.
One thing I want to bring up.
Yep.
DLO.
The dumbest red card you've ever seen in your life.
They gotta let that go, don't they? Though, I mean. He's
No.
off the pitch.
No, I disagree. It's a rule, man. All right, it's a rule because it's a big game and he scored the game winner.
I don't think it should be a rule. If you're on the pitch, different story. He's off the pitch for it's how much did that really delay the game?
I get where you're coming
telling
from.
You're telling me, and I understand why.
It's a stupid rule, though, isn't it?
It's a stupid rule. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a rule because if you think about it, they don't want to take pictures of people running around with their shirt off. They want to have the league wants the players to keep their stuff on so that they can take pictures and represent the league. And now you're not representing the league and the sponsors.
It was 10 seconds.
I agree.
Or probably the biggest moment in this kid's life.
Sometimes, and we talk about this with VAR. I think sometimes they intend to suck the life out of the game a little bit, and it's just, it's the motion of the FA.
Right.
Would he have got a yellow card if he'd have kept his shirt on, run, and then did like a suicide dive kind of into the crowd? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you don't want people to be passionate. Like you don't want, you know what I mean? Like
you guys probably different. I've scored a lot of goals in my life, and never once have I taken my shirt off.
Well,
That's
not true. You take your shirt off, just not for scoring goals.
I took my shirt off because that guy wanted my shirt.
That should be a card because that is a form of unsportsmanlike behavior.
No argument here.
Different story. This was. It was everything was stopped. Goal was in. He ran over the fans, not on the field. Took it off for half a second. Put it back on. Come on.
But all right, so
it shouldn't be a rule.
Have Nate? And no offense when I say this, you're a defender. You don't score a lot of goals. Is your first instinct when you score a goal? I'm going to take my shirt off and whip it around. Don't answer that because it's you.
If it was the biggest match of my life,
That's not the biggest. All right.
Actually, no.
He's going to be playing. He's going to be playing at Wembley in a couple of weeks.
Listen, I am
could be the biggest
I
match of his life.
am the worst example of this.
That's
right
what I'm
now.
saying, yeah.
Because I score so very few goals that, like, when it happens, I'm like,
Every goal's the biggest goal.
what do I do? No, I just like, all right, and like I just kind of like I don't know what to do, and I just
You're almost embarrassed when you
yeah,
score a goal.
yeah. I'm like, oops. Everyone's like, that was a great shot. I'm like, it was a pass.
Oh, yeah, it was a pass.
So I'm more used to giving assists. That's what I do.
Danny, have you ever?
It was a
taken-
Schross.
Have you ever taken your shirt off after scoring a goal?
God, I owe in my fantasies he does.
No. Done a lot of knee slides.
Yeah, the knees line.
Done a lot of knee slides.
Yeah,
But
you-
not-
I'm shocked you don't have a signature goal celebration.
Who?
You.
Oh, I do the Barry Sanders.
which-
Oh, I've been here before, and I'm going to do it again. Get
Yeah,
the ball.
but-
Let's get it back. I want to score again.
Brooks, in indoor, you score like 23 goals
No,
a
no,
game. So at what point does he make a celebration?
No, I don't know. Like for Michigan State, you didn't have you just didn't have one.
No, I don't.
Really?
I
Not
don't,
run to the corner, little fist bump, jump in the air.
No,
type of
if I
thing?
would ever had a goal celebration when I was younger, my dad would have punched me.
Craig the Ego Hearn has no celebration.
No goal
Really?
celebration. No, my dad always told me, act like you've done it
Snapped a
before. And
corner flag
act like
once.
you're going to do it again. Yeah,
Snapped a corner
You
flag
snapped a
once.
quarter
You did?
flag.
that's a yellow card.
Got
That's
so,
a yellow card.
And kids these days now, like they go and just like trash the corner flag and
So it
It should
whatnot.
be a yellow card.
So
shit.
the funniest thing that happened in our tournament, it was the only highlight pretty much because we've been struggling, is one of my kids scored a goal and I turned around and I was like, yeah, nice, because we just tied it. I was talking to the players. What happened behind me, I didn't see it, but everyone saw it, is he picked the corner flag up and used it like a machine gun and put it back down. And I
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a movie.
yeah, so I guess
Yeah.
he's just going like this and like then set it back down. And then I turn around and the ref's going to give him a card. And I just thought he was like for being loud and celebrating. I'm like, oh, you can't give him a card. He's just celebrating. He's like, oh, I'm just telling him, giving him a warning. And then one of my players went, Coach, he picked up the corner flag and acted like this is a machine gun. I was like,
Definitely should get a yellow card for that. Yeah.
oh, but it's passion. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're carding someone for being passionate. Don't you feel that's wrong? Am I the only one in here that
I
is it just me, or do you feel?
No, I agree. It's passion. Like
It's
I mean,
passion. He shouldn't. Like, I don't.
It was
know.
15
if you
seconds.
run into the stands and do something else, that's another thing.
See, when Rashford equalised today,
Yeah.
3-3, he ran down the ramp there and ran into the crowd.
Oh, that's
which
fair.
is
So did McTominay with the first one.
Yeah, that's
So-
fair,
which
yeah.
is
you're
fine,
allowed to
you
do
know?
that, right? You're allowed to do that,
But taking
right?
your shirt off, I mean, what's
We all know the rules.
It's like,
So-
it's like, back in the day, Thierry Henry did. Actually, a bunch of players did it, but I
Yeah,
remember Thierry Henry doing it specifically, and he did it. He did it at Old Trafford. We actually spanked him 6-1 that day, but he did it at Old Trafford.
That was before the rule was in place, though, right?
Yeah,
that
he
was
wrote-
before
he
the.
put his shirt up and he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
something written across it.
Yeah.
I like the ones where they had like the shirts underneath and there's something saying.
Yeah, they're
that,
not
right?
allowed to do that anymore, though. That's
Yeah.
a yellow card as well.
Okay, so we have a comment in the Facebook group that calls bullshit on you,
On me for what?
Ooh, it's Victor, isn't it?
Victor.
Oh,
Yeah, I knew it.
the childhood friend.
Victor says Craig's go-to celebration in high school was pumping his fist or jumping into my arms. I guarantee I have video somewhere.
He's laughing.
Jump into your arms. I ran away from you, you big Hulk.
So you've
Scare me.
you've jumped in the air and you pumped your fist, or you've jumped into his arms. Now, the only thing that I want to know is, did you jump into his arms kind of like with the legs wrapped around his stomach like most players, or did you jump into his arms like some off Dirty Dancing?
Did you jump in your arms like this and yell, Ego?
I think it was. I
you
jumped
do a
in his
lift?
arms and he
Did-
held
did-
me like a baby.
Did Victor lift you up like you did in the Dirty Dancing?
Victor's a
Yeah.
big, strong man.
Was
Yeah.
it? Did he embrace you from behind like Titanic?
Yes.
The Titanic.
Only once, and then I never let him do that again.
Yeah.
All right.
You little poke coming through
I
on
do-
you.
I do want to talk about the other games that happened.
There's another game?
The other FA Cup games that happened, by the way. Then we'll get to the draw that happened. All right, so Chelsea and Leicester. Chelsea come out 4-2 on this one. Raheem Sterling was absolutely terrible in this game.
That's why he's not in the England squad.
That's why he's not in the England squad. I said a couple of months ago he should be in the England squad because he was banging the ball in the back of the net consistently and doing really well. And now that form has gone away. And what a poor penalty attempt he had. He was useless, although he did have a very nice assist to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, who is and still remains on fire. That kid is phenomenal. And you can now see why Chelsea paid $40 million for him. Brilliant. Another brilliant game for Cole Palmer. Chelsea get through and are now into the next round of the semifinals of the FA Cup there. Wolverhampton Wanderers, yes, Wolverhampton in the Premiership play Coventry City, who are in the Sky Championship, and lose 3-2. They lost 3-2. Poor. Pedro out for what could be out for the remainder of the season as well, by the way. Big miss. Yeah. Could have played his last game for Wolverhampton Wanderers there. Man City 2, Newcastle 0. This game yesterday.
Snooze fest.
It was. But this was a typical Man City game. Yeah. Just absolutely typical. They scored a couple of goals. They probably could have had a lot more. They just bossed the game, snoozed it. We're up 2. Maybe have a shot. We missed. Bernardo Silva ran the show in the first 35 minutes. Phenomenal. Bernardo Silva, boys. I don't know what you think about Bernardo Silva, but for me, has been brilliant this year.
It's like you know what he's like a poor man's David Silva, but doesn't get the recognition that David Silva got, and he does just as good work.
I was going to go with a Gundogan, a poor man's Gundogan. Gundogan last year for me was magical. They don't win the treble last year without Gundogan.
But I think like Foden's taken over that mantle this year.
Think so?
He scored some important goals in important games where Gundogan did it last year.
You're right, absolutely. I thought they needed to go buy Kvaratskhelia from Napoli, which they didn't because it would have cost them $100 million. But Foden, you're right, has stepped in and done that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Foden does that without Bernardo Silva doing what he does behind the scenes. If that makes sense, he does a lot of. Foden in that game against Newcastle and the game last week went missing. Has gone missing for about a week to 10 days now. And Bernardo Silva is the one who's picked up the slack.
Right.
But I think, that's a good assessment. He is a poor man's David Silva.
Yeah, he's not as consistent as David Silva was, but he's very good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Very good.
Now, after the Man United Liverpool game today, we'll say it again: 4-3 Man United over Liverpool in extra time. There was a draw. Did you guys see the video of the draw? Mm-hmm. So they did a draw live. ITV. So there's a little red bag, and it's got balls in there. And Ian Wright, the former Arsenal striker, just for Brooks, if you're not aware.
I knew that.
He sticks his hand in there, and he pulls them out, and he pulls out a number. And then they say, oh, it is Coventry City. And then he sticks his hand, and he goes, number 3. And they're like, oh, that's Man United. And everybody goes, wait a minute. You never told us what team it stood for. You never told us the number 1 was this, number 2 was that, number 3. What the F is going on? So, of course, all the conspiracy theorists are out there. Is it rigged?
Oh, Brooks and I say yes.
Well, if it's rigged, they're saying it's rigged because they want Man United to get the easy draw against Coventry City because
they want the Manchester Derby for the FA Cup
because the other
ratings.
teams in are Man City and Chelsea. So Man City and Chelsea got drawn together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
all the betting companies.
But you have got to be kidding me that it's 2024 and this is how we're doing things.
Yeah,
like you've got to be smarter than this, right?
No, it's almost like the more low tech you are and the more oops you have, the more easier it is to, I don't know, do what you want.
I mean,
Really?
You don't think so?
Really?
You don't think so?
Really?
You don't think so?
Really?
Ask Jeff Shook. Jeff Shook said right before the last time England played USA, he was like, in that last World Cup, he goes, it's going to be England versus USA in a group final. Watch, all things are rigged. Sure enough.
You know what? The funny thing is, we're going to get to something in a little bit here where I don't know if it's rigged, but I'd love that we'll get to the.
You can't. It's hard to rig an outcome, but can you set something up like that?
Yep,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely be set up.
But why do it that way? Why not be smart and just say 1, 2, 3, 4?
The sports bettors, Craig. The sports bettors.
When Coventry got through and beat Wolves the other day, everybody, all the Man United,
everybody won.
All the Man United purists that know the history of the club and know what happened, transpired around Sir Alex Ferguson and all that sort of stuff. The Coventry manager is Mark Robbins. Mm-hmm. Mark Robbins used to play for Manchester United and was actually in that team, in that FA Cup FA Cup team that won Fergie's first FA Cup, and that's where the trophy-laden, success went. So everybody wanted that matchup because it was Manchester United versus Mark Robbins. And then when it came out today, I was like, oh, okay, So I was just like, it's.
So you're saying that people wanted it for the history and the value and the story behind it, right, because it'll bring in more.
And then they've
viewers.
got it. And then they've got it.
They've got it.
But I also kind of agree with him a little bit in the fact that last year, Manchester Derby in the final, this year again, it's on the cards, Manchester Derby, and it's
Absolutely.
worldwide. It sells tickets, man.
It does.
You know,
It does. Like today's game, one of the biggest games around, right? It
So,
sells everything.
You just watch Coventry and Chelsea will go spoil it now. You know?
If Haji Ray doesn't beat you guys.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait for the Coventry City Chelsea final.
I don't, and no offense, it's not because it's Man United.
And please,
but I'm rooting
Coventry
for the
City
underdog.
win that.
Well, I was rooting yesterday for Coventry City to beat Wolves because they're the underdog, and that's who I'm going to be rooting for against. And I'm also rooting for Chelsea, by the way, because they're the underdog for Man City.
One of my really good friends, Andy Harrison, he coached at Liverpool. He's a Cov fan. Up the Cov, always says up the Cov, and he even said today, he goes, yeah, it's a great story. It's a great story. He goes, but a Premier League team against a Championship team at Wembley. Wembley pitch is like, it's massive. It's 120 by 80
Full
yards.
size,
yeah. It's full size.
It's massive. He goes, they're just gonna they'll pull Coventry all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But again, just ITV and the way you do it. Ian Wright wasn't quite drunk. He wasn't quite.
I think he was actually.
They said he was playing it. He was playing it up to the who was it? It's Rod Stewart. When Rod Stewart did and he was drunk, they said he was trying to do his best Rod Stewart impression.
Yeah.
And Roy Keane was laughing along because he knew what was going on.
When
there.
I get really drunk, I say that too. I'm like, I'm just trying to do my best Rod Stewart.
Yeah, that's what you go with.
Sleeping on the
Sleeping.
floor. I'm not really sleeping on the floor. I'm just impersonating somebody.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Sure.
I'm so good at it that like you can't get me out of it. It's called method acting.
Method acting. All right. There was a lot of other games that happened this weekend. Let's jump in and talk about those. All right. Premiership games. Burnley 2, Brentford 1. Burnley get a much-needed win. We'll show you what happens with them now that they get 3 points. Unexpected there. Brentford pick up a really early red card and kind of go downhill from there. It did take all of 62 minutes for Burnley to get up on top and get there. They did get the 3 points. Luton Town 1, Nottingham Forest 1. This was actually a really big game. Both teams needed points here, and they just got one single point apiece, unfortunately.
Of course.
This was a really important game for both clubs,
Yeah.
and it was at Kenilworth Road, and it went 1-1. And there was quite a little bit of controversy, some VAR moments in this. Both teams went at it. Unfortunately for both of them, they pick up a single point. We'll show you the table in a minute. Now, this has got to be the stunning result of the weekend. If you can find me a more stunning result than this, I'll be surprised. Tottenham 0, Fulham 3. Fulham absolutely dominate.
What's that saying? It's very Spursy.
Yeah.
It's very Spursy.
Yeah.
It's the tail end of the season where they're in and around the Champions League spots and they're doing things very Spursy. Just getting beat by teams you shouldn't
It's
get
come
beat
off the
by.
back of those comments that what Ange made about
Ange
the
Postecoglou?
plastic fans.
Ange Postecoglou, and they did, to his credit.
I liked what he said though, that the game needs to be available for everyone. I am in agreement with that.
Where I was going with, he was asked this week, is the top 4 the most important thing for you? He said, no, it's not. It's progression. My team, I want to see my team progress every single day and get better, and then every week get better. And if we can do that, top 4 shouldn't be an issue at some point, but that is not our goal. Great answer, love it. But here's a very Spursy thing. I cannot tell you how many people texted me or bumped into me accidentally this week and said, hey, how about that Villa game, huh? Yeah, Spurs 4-0. Oh, you're right. Villa shit the bed, and you beat us at home 4-0. And then you lose to Fulham 3-0.
It's a very Spursy thing to do.
Absolutely. It is.
Those London games as well. I don't think people that are not kind of connected to clubs and don't kind of understand the prestige and the history around it. Those derby games, there's an extra spice to them. Those London derby games, there's so much spice to them.
Yeah.
Like Tottenham, West Ham, Fulham, Chelsea.
Yep.
They're massive games.
I can't remember now. There's something like 22 clubs inside of the
London area.
The London
Great
area.
London area.
And if you think about, you've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Brentford,
Fulham.
West Ham, Fulham.
There's 6 in the Premier League.
It's amazing to think that you've got 6 teams inside of a 25, 30 miles, whatever area.
Right.
It's incredible to think about that. When you see a map, and you're like, wait a minute, and England can actually fit inside of like Michigan.
What's great? What's great about it is there's 6 teams in London and there's 4 teams in the northwest.
Yeah.
With Liverpool, Man United, Man City, and Everton.
Yeah.
There's 4 derbies right there.
Yeah, it's not
That's 10 teams. That's half the league.
half the league.
In derbies.
Yeah. And then if you go to the Midlands, obviously you got Wolverhampton Wanderers, you've got Villa. Forest isn't that far away.
Right.
I mean, that's 13, and then you go up north. I mean, it is.
You got Burnley in there as well. I mean,
Yeah, don't
Burnley's
forget
not-
Burnley. Yeah, it's not far away either. It's incredible. The other Premiership game that happened today. West Ham at home to my Aston Villa, 1-1 final. Villa they didn't really show up. They showed up for probably the first 20 minutes, and after that, they kind of went to sleep for a little bit and had to pull this one out. Really, I'm very happy VAR's involved. VAR did its job.
What, you're happy about VAR?
Oh, VAR's.
Oh my
VAR's
gosh,
the best thing
Nate.
ever, by the way.
I was so happy. I was when the thing came across my phone today. West Ham, Soucek, 96th minute. West Ham. I was like, get in, you mother.
I was in
So-
the car with my wife and child, and I screamed obscenities, and my wife just looked at me. She goes, what? I said, yeah, Villa, I think, just lost. And then a 6-minute VAR review. 6 minutes. Was he offside? No. Was it a handball? No. Was the next one a handball? Well, hold on. Look at this angle. Look at that angle. Look at this angle. Look at that angle. It took another 4 minutes for them to go, you know what? The referee's going to need to go take a look at this. The referee goes down, and to the referee's credit, right? I
Who
think
are you right now?
I know. He looked at it. He looked at it from all the angles, and he came. He said, yeah. The player puts a motion, and it didn't take it's not a solid hit, but it took a glance off his elbow and ball went in the net. The right call was made. VAR. It's just unfortunate that it took 6 minutes to get there.
Brooks, what you don't understand about the fact that he actually comes out and likes VAR now is the old saying, mate, is VAR is convenient when it's convenient for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
We talk about the first VAR call.
Which one was that? Yeah.
The one that went to
They had 2
West
goals
Ham?
disallowed, didn't they, West Ham?
The one that I think it was a goal.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they saw. I watched that over and over and over, and I have no idea what they called. So it would have been up 2-0 at the 48th minute.
That was a handball as well.
I didn't see that anything
I didn't think the
from
first
that
one-
angle.
I didn't think
from
the
that
first one was
angle,
disallowed.
unless there was some other angle
Boys,
that they were
I don't know
seeing.
what you're watching, but VAR worked perfectly today.
No, and I'm being dead serious. And maybe just on the TV they didn't show the right angle. I don't know. They got different angles that they look at. But when I was watching, I'm like,
That
I don't
first
think
one-
anyone touched
yeah,
it.
No, that first one for me, I thought was a goal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think anyone touched this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I don't know. Like, but maybe they have you always see those pictures afterwards and like, this is actually what they saw. And you're like,
So-
okay.
So
You know.
just sidebar conversation just for a second, right? So theoretical or theory. Let's not theory. Let's get your opinion. You know, because you always ask us for our opinion. I'm asking redirect right now.
Yeah, redirect.
Redirect.
Get him.
What's going on with Villa? And has it got anything related to the fact that you're back in Europe?
Yeah, we've had a lot of games. The players have had their eyes on Europe. They went to Ajax. They didn't play very well. They then came home to Villa Park against Spurs, and in my opinion, the Villa players went 4 days later. We've got one of the biggest games that's been played at Villa Park in the past 15, 20 years. It's Ajax coming to Villa Park for a European game. And Villa fans are nutty for this. They want this. And I think every single Villa player went, I want to be healthy for that game. I want to play in this big game for the fans. And then, sure enough, we kicked the crap out of Ajax and looked really good. Ajax, again, down year for them, not the greatest team in the world. But we shit the bed against Spurs. I think we don't have the biggest squad in the world either. We've actually got a couple of young kids on the bench, and they've come on here a bit.
Right.
We don't have a great an injury or two, but every club has injuries or two. But I think they have their eyes focused on Europe. I think it's going to get even worse because now we've got Lille in the next round. I think it is.
And
Those French clubs.
If we weren't in it, I think we'd be focused 100%. And we'd be winning these games.
don't you see? Don't you play City as well after the break?
And Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, as I said last week, I'm really concerned. And if you'd, I don't know if you saw the video of me saying, I think the top 4
I think it's going to be the top 5, though. Really.
Oh, by the way, yes.
Top
Now it's
fives.
going to be top 5 because of the way
they-
the teams like Villa and West Ham are doing in Europe is helping convince UEFA to give England or win the extra Champions League spot. So this year it should be the top 5 teams.
Yeah.
It will be essentially.
Yeah,
I think there's a small percentage that could change, but
With Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Villa,
and West Ham
all doing really well.
yeah, all doing very well in Europe. It's going to come back, so it will be 5 teams. But here's the thing: I think there'll be there's 3 teams right now vying for that 4th spot. You got Man United in 6th, Tottenham in 5th, and Villa in 4th. Before this weekend, I would have said Tottenham are going to creep into 4th. Villa will fall to 6th, and Man United could get to 5th. And those two, 4th and 5th, could swap. I predict that based on how Man United have come about and playing, they could get into 4th.
What do you think about this? I was thinking about this the other day. What do you think about this? What do you think about taking away a league Champions League spot for all the top major leagues and giving the Champions League spot to the domestic league winner, cup winner? So, like the FA Cup winner gets the Champions League spot.
That'd make it a lot more interesting.
If you did the Pokal Cup,
Yeah.
gets the Champions League spot.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
That's what we do in America. I mean,
wonder
domestic
why,
cup. Yeah.
I wonder why that, because obviously we know 10 or 15 years ago, and I'll say Man United were one of the first ones. Man United and Liverpool 20 years ago were one of the first clubs to say, we are actually not putting a priority on the FA Cup because we're all in Europe. We're in the Champions League. We want to win the league. We're putting priority on the other places. So we'll play the youngsters. We'll play other players in the FA Cup. Why wasn't it at some point discussed at that point? Like, hey, what happens if we take the top 3 from the league, but the 4th spot is the FA Cup
winner?
Why
And then if the FA Cup or the Pokal Cup is won by a team that's in the top 3,
Then it drops
the league, then
to
it drops to
4th.
4th. So you still get your 4th anyway.
Yeah, you still get your 4th. There must
honestly,
be
they-
money involved somewhere, right?
They could do that in Italy and Spain because they all have that
They all
same
have a
type of domestic cup.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like an
That's
American
a great
here.
idea.
It's a really good move because
They can't do it in the United States because
Well, yes.
you no longer have a League One team.
Could you imagine,
I know.
10 years ago, I think, when Wigan beat Man City in the FA Cup final and got relegated that year,
Oh, yeah.
and they were playing in the Championship, but in the Champions League.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine
The money that they would
money.
get for it.
Oh, incredible.
Would be incredible.
Absolutely
That would be kind of funny.
It would,
Right.
wouldn't it?
I mean,
That'd be interesting.
I mean, it's the percentage of this happening of Coventry winning the FA Cup, right, is small when we've got all these big clubs in it. But if they were to win the FA Cup this year and that spot went to the Champions League, could you imagine people having to go to Coventry next year? Juventus, AC Milan, Real Madrid playing Coventry?
Yeah.
Could you imagine that?
Right.
It's almost like them trying to go to play a team in Mexico. You know?
Wait, who's going to go play a team in Mexico?
It's tough. No, I'm just saying the atmosphere.
Not even close.
Not even
Close.
Wow.
Not even close.
Not even
Yes,
close.
no.
Not even
Close.
Danny, I love that idea, and I don't know why it's never been
course-
thought of.
Brooks, it wouldn't be an issue if the MLS teams took care of it on their own
Yeah.
domestic turf.
I truly think if European clubs had to go over to Mexico or Costa Rica or whatever and play in those conditions with the field, it would be tougher than they actually think.
What
it
about
is.
a South American team having to play in 30-degree weather?
Yes, and vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when the MLS teams can't handle business in home and all of them draw and then get thunderclaps when they go away
Yep.
for bringing this up.
Tough to play there.
All right, boys, let's take a look at that table. Here's the EPA table. There are a few games that are off now because of all the postponements that happened this weekend because of the FA Cup. Obviously, we still have Arsenal there in first, Liverpool right behind due to goal difference. Man City sit in third, so top 3 remain the same because they were all involved in the FA Cup. Aston Villa, obviously, on 29 games there, 56 points, pick up a point today. Tottenham pick up no points this weekend on 53 points. Man United obviously didn't play again due to the FA Cup today, still on 47. Down at the bottom, that's where we're really concerned at the moment. Sheffield United, 14 points. Burnley, after picking up 3 points today, now on 17. Luton Town, after picking up their point, on 22. Nottingham Forest pick up a point, as we said, against Luton Town in 17th on 25. I got to be honest, I think this is how it finishes, boys. The bottom.
No, that bottom 3's down.
Yeah, I think that's how it's going to finish. I was hoping for a little bit more of a fight from Everton, Nottingham Forest, and Luton Town to dig it out there, but no.
I still believe in Luton.
You still believe Luton?
believe
Yes,
in
I
Luton.
do too.
I believe in them.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Come on.
It was. I mean, this weekend was a big chance for them to pick up 3 points and really put some.
They picked up 1 point.
And I believe Fulham's going to
At
get.
home. They pick up a single point against a bottom dwelling team in Nottingham Forest.
And I believe Fulham's going to pass
It
Chelsea.
just depends on. It
They
just
very well could, yeah.
honestly,
Yes.
it really depends on. It really depends on Luton's remaining fixtures. If they play Forest, Everton, Brentford, Palace within the next 8-9 games, they're almost 6-pointers.
Yeah, they are.
So
Oh,
I mean, they
absolutely.
can get themselves out of trouble but then the other remaining games that they have against top 4 teams, top 6 teams, top 10 teams, they've got to pick up points. If they don't, then they're in trouble.
They're very much in trouble.
Chelsea has 2 games in hand. It could
I
easily
was,
climb up that table
You
and
took-
have
took the words out of my mouth.
to play Burnley, Sheffield, Everton, Brighton. Are they still good? I don't think so.
Not anymore.
I will give you Villa. Villa's tough. West Ham, Nottingham, Forest, and Bournemouth.
You never know what's going to happen at Chelsea.
I can't believe how poor
They
Brighton
could
have
end
been
up-
this year.
Brighton have been
Still
just
in
terrible.
8th.
I know, just terrible.
How poor Brighton have been this season, and they're still in 8th.
Do you know when that came about?
tells
though?
you how
I told you.
Do you know when it all came
I told you
about?
this last year, though. At the certain time of the table, at the wintertime, they have more points this year than they did last year.
But
So
But here's
Saying.
where it turned around for Brighton this year. They started off pretty hot again. They did very well, and I think into December they're doing okay. When De Zerbi's name started getting mentioned for the Barcelona job, that all of a sudden downward slide. All of a sudden his team goes on a downward slide. Now Mitoma's been out for long stretches, right? They've had to put in a couple of people here and there, and at a club like Brighton, when you do miss your top player or two,
Who's
it
having the
can
mo-
really
who-
hurt.
I don't think Ansu
quick-
Fati's done anything.
Like, quick opinion, right? Just quick opinion. Who's having the most downturn season from last year?
Ooh, that's a
Your
good
opinion. Who's having a reversal season from last year?
Newcastle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Newcastle.
say.
Yeah,
They
100%.
finished 4th, right?
Yeah.
And now they're down
And with
into down into 10th right
And with
now.
that financial backing, you would expect them to
Yes.
not maybe be still upwards in 5th, 6th, 4th, somewhere around there.
So let's I think we're all in agreement. It's Newcastle. Brighton not doing very well. Chelsea obviously being Chelsea.
Where's
at the
Chelsea?
moment.
They're right.
Pull it back up again.
Chelsea
Chelsea's in 11th.
Chelsea was finished in 12th last year.
Yeah, but Chelsea also has 2 games in hand, and those 2 victories could
Yep.
easily skyrocket them up to 7th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, but what I want to ask is, you see Newcastle there in 10th, right? After 28 games, 12 wins, 4 draws, 12 losses. Now, as you said, Nate, there's been heavy investment at Newcastle. They expect to get results.
Yes.
Is Eddie Howe going to be?
Yeah, I mean,
They came out and said it. They
There's
came
so
out and
many, like,
said he'll be back next
there's
year.
a plethora of managers of it. Like the one name that's out there right now that people, Jose Mourinho is hovering.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Well, rumor is he's been in Dubai.
He'd be a good one actually for that club.
He's been in Dubai. He's been in the Middle East having meetings. Now,
With Saudi Cubs.
who owns Newcastle?
Can he coach in MLS?
No, he ain't coming to the MLS. There's not enough money. Not enough money for him.
That'd be awesome if he did, but
Would it be-
That would be great.
you got a good point.
Yeah.
Who
Why-
owns Newcastle?
Why has he been? There are rumors he's been for the last 2 weeks hanging around the Middle East,
Sure.
taking meetings.
With the ownership.
Newcastle.
The thing is,
Yeah.
like,
Newcastle's not exactly a sexy job, though, right?
the thing is, not a lot of people.
No, but they want to win a lot, and Jose's won.
The thing is, not a lot of people realize this as well. Is that we're still kind of like 8-9 games away. When it becomes mathematically impossible for teams to be relegated or to finish within those European places, that's what you'll start to see.
Yep.
I love I'll give you it's the saying that you used a couple of times a couple of weeks back when you were describing a Manchester United performance. They down tools. A lot of these players go, "Ooh, hey, I'm not going into that tackle. I got to go on vacation in a couple of weeks. with
Or
the
I'm
wife
going
and
to the
family."
Euros.
or I'm going to the Euros. Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news.
Yes.
Breaking news. This
it.
is
I don't have a
hot,
button for that.
hot off the presses. Has just hit
What did I miss?
the social channels.
Yes.
It's almost like a Fabrizio Romano breaking story.
Yes.
That's how
It's
hot
our
it is.
Fabrizio Romano.
It's video of Craig Hearn celebrating with Victor and fist pumping back in his high school days. Go now to
Man.
the social channel.
Yeah.
Uh,
Man,
Facebook
Craig,
channel.
you meg this keeper here.
You better go now before Craig gets embarrassed and pulls that crap right off the site.
What?
Go now, baby.
What must have been 16 or 17.
I can see the fist pump.
What's
Yeah.
amazing is he had this ready to go.
You know what? Yeah, it's weird that Victor's got these videos pretty quick on his phone in a secret compartment.
Look how baggy those jerseys
Yeah,
and
man.
shorts are.
Welcome to
My God.
1997.
That was like 10 pounds on you.
Man, Victor's got some muscle in this one, man.
Imagine
Woo, he
if
was
you
a
had-
big boy.
Told you he was a big fella.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had microfiber back then. How fast you would have been. Like,
Man, you did this defender well. His face was in the ground, and then,
Why?
man, whoa.
What high school is this?
North Farmington.
Victor, who are we playing against in this video? Which I cannot.
football lines and all, baby.
Maybe it's the rivals Farmington.
You should see the.
By the way, shame on you, by the way, because you're wearing all your other teammates are wearing solid black shorts, and you're wearing basketball shorts.
Yeah, how come you have a stripe?
All right, I
you have
will-
a stripe down your shirts. Everyone else, that's good eyes, Danny. Just noticed that right on the back.
Victor says you were playing Farmington High School.
Do you, that's a rival then. Do you
Yeah.
want the full story on the shorts?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
So
Did you rip them?
They handed us shorts that were like plastic. Those things were like disgusting plastic. And I played for a club team that handed out nice shorts, and I wore my club shorts. So yeah. Oh, I think I know which video that is. Oh yeah, that's a rivalry game.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a rivalry game. And I think that goal actually put us up in the final.
What boots are you wearing there?
That might be the Ronaldos, the R9s.
Yeah, it looks like him.
Yeah, those are my senior.
Oh my God, this goal where you you just did that guy.
You did.
Number
30.
Dude, the guy laying down, the first guy you juked, his head is right in the ground. And he's like, oh shit, I just got crushed by Craig.
You
Number
did
13?
embrace Victor.
That's me.
You embraced
13,
him.
You were
Oh
13
my
in
God.
college too?
Yeah, well, that's his number. His lucky
Yeah,
number's
lucky
13.
Number 13 yeah.
Lucky, unlucky numbers 13.
Yeah.
How many years you been married?
13. I feel really bad for everybody else who can't watch this video. I should.
No, they
It's
can't.
on our
but they
Facebook
can.
group.
It's in the Facebook.
You got to
group?
go to our Facebook group and
You
join.
embraced Victor like
You did.
You did a full on.
You did the double fist pump, man. See, you double fist pump. Come on, man. Get out of
Victor,
here.
You
Just
double
ruined-
fist bumping son of a bitch, you.
Any credibility I had, I've now lost because I said I don't celebrate, and there's that.
Oh, because Victor's proper dropped you in it now, going Craig never wore.
Oh,
the given
Tom
shorts.
Farah wants to know
No, I
you won
never
the
won
match,
that.
right?
Huh?
North Farmington won
yeah.
the match, right?
Yeah.
That's what Tom Farah wants to know.
Oh yeah, we won the
Yes.
match. Oh yeah.
Yes.
So Tom, by the way, if you're watching, hopefully all's well health wise with your father. Tom was a coach for Walled Lake, and Tom, one of the best coaches that division had, by the way. Stand up, dude. But Victor, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Maybe it's time to move on there, guys.
Can't stop watching it.
Can't. It's a great clip.
Oh my God.
Man, do we have more?
Yeah. How is this?
Victor, do we have more?
How do we just now get this?
Victor,
Yes.
Victor,
How long have I been doing the show and I just
Yeah.
now see this shit?
Man.
Victor, you should put a lot of those clips into its own post. Put them into its own post. That'll
Wait,
be
I
fun.
just saw the fist pump. Play that again.
Yeah.
I didn't see him jumping into his arm.
You didn't see the eagle?
No.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's a full-on
God.
eagle right there, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Oh, here we go. There we go. Did this guy. This guy's crying.
He is.
Ah, my life is over. This guy's like, F heck. And then the goalkeeper's like, whoop, right through the legs. Oh, Jesus. And then he comes around, right in his arms right there. And that's an eagle. Can we, someone who is good at video needs to put that.
Yes.
My commentary.
No. We need to put this in the startup to the show. We need to put that
Why is this
in there.
not in the startup?
Why is it not, Craig? It should be your opening scene.
I don't know, boys.
Ugh.
I don't know.
This should be
don't know.
the
Yes.
opening.
All right.
Yes.
We will. Victor needs to send those.
Hi, everyone. If you're tuning into the
to
show,
me-
this
I mean-
is Craig's midlife crisis.
To be fair, it's a great finish.
It was.
It was a great finish. I'm not so sure about the celebration, but it was a great finish.
All right, onwards. Yeah, if anybody's not watching on Facebook, go to the Facebook group and watch there. If not, we'll have to post them elsewhere. I do want to jump and talk about something big that happened this week, boys. The Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League draws happened, and I want to put those up right now. So here is your quarterfinals.
Let's
Here's your
go.
quarterfinals for the Champions League. Right, the first one out of the bat was out of the hat was Arsenal versus Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
I
baby.
mean, and by the way, I do want to get everybody's thoughts on who's going to win these, right? But did you know Arsenal currently are ranked higher than Bayern Munich?
Sweet.
And I
Good
think
for them.
the first game is at the Emirates.
Yeah.
I think Bayern take this. I think
Yeah.
they take both legs.
So since we're on this, I think Tuchel was wrongly fired or quit or wherever you want to put it at, and actually is doing a hell of a job at Munich.
Since he's been fired, right? Because they've been so just so everybody's aware. Let's put it out there. Hold on, Nate. Just so everybody's aware.
He's quitting at the end of the season.
Yeah, he's been asked to leave, and they're mutually parting ways. He's to the end of the season, which is really doesn't happen very often at clubs. It's either you're here, or you're gone. They said you're here until the end of the season.
He's on pace in the league to actually have more points or tied for most points since they've ever had since 2015 when they had 88 points in the league.
But it's unfortunate because they're not going to win because Bayer Leverkusen.
And that's the thing. Leverkusen is just having that damn good of a season.
38 unbeaten.
Last year, they won the league with 71.
Yeah.
And they easily could do that. Again, they have 24 points left. That would give them 84. They have 60 right now. The year before that, 77. The year before that, 78. So those are all those 3 years.
And they'd
be winning.
You guys are thinking that the FA Cup draw was a little bit rigged.
You took it out of my
This is
mouth.
totally rigged. We're good with it.
You took it out of my mouth.
Harry Kane's coming home, baby.
Exactly.
Like Harry Kane has tortured Arsenal for years.
Yep.
Tottenham, and
So now you've got Harry Kane and Eric Dyer who play for Bayern coming to play at the Emirates.
So here's the hot step in rumor is that Harry Kane's big interest in going to Munich was not to actually win the Bundesliga, it was win a Champions League. That's really what his set his eyes on.
Okay.
And so this is right up his wheelhouse and ready to go.
Oh, yes.
And here's the other hot, fantastic take too is since Tuchel basically is done, he can run whatever he wants right
he can
now.
do whatever he wants.
He's putting Kimmich at right back, and he's just like, eat it, and this is what we're gonna do.
I don't care if you hate me or the directors hate me, I'm leaving anyway.
And you know what?
Yeah.
They're actually doing well.
Doing very
They're
well.
doing very well. Yeah. So I'm all in. I think Munich could take this against Arsenal.
Oh, I 100% think they do.
No, I do think Munich take that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they'll take both legs.
And then Real Madrid's going to help us against City. And then, hold on, Barca's going to beat Paris. Then Barca's going to pull one over at Real Madrid. And then Munich is just going to do what they do against Barca every year and thunderclap them 100-0.
Yeah, it's not going to be a Bayern Dortmund final?
Yeah.
Gonna happen. All right, on the other side, Atleti versus Borussia Dortmund. That is an interesting.
That's a good matchup.
I actually think Madrid take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
I think
they'll just they'll bore Borussia Dortmund to death.
I think they will take it. I don't
4-4-2.
I don't think Dortmund's that good this year. They're probably going to fire their coach. Yeah.
And there's some news on that later.
Yeah,
as well
because they're
Nagelsmann.
What?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Isn't there a rumor that he wants to come and coach?
We'll talk about it.
We'll see. Yeah. But the reality is like they just snuck back in the Champions League, and after being supposed to be one of the best teams, the second or rival for second, sitting fourth and fifth is just not good enough. I think Atletico take it to them.
I think Atletico take it that way.
But I will say for both teams, that's like the best matchup that they could hope for.
Absolutely, that is for both of those two for sure. And then you've got Paris and PSG and Barcelona. I think that's actually a really fun matchup. I think people are overlooking that. I think it's a fun one. Barca are doing surprisingly well.
I think Barca's underclass PSG.
I think it's the weakest of the ties, really. To be honest,
you think so? You think that one's the weakest out of the?
I would say that Barca, PSG, Dortmund, Madrid. If that's one side of the if that is one side of the semi-final bracket, then we're in real trouble.
I can't remember the matchups. How they transfer.
They split it.
I can't remember. We'll have to look that up.
Madrid and City's take.
So here's what we all wanted. So sorry to cut you off, Danny, but here's what we all wanted, right? We were all thinking the two best teams in the world right now, Man City and Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. We want to see them. That's got to be the Champions League final, right?
Yep.
Right.
But if you use your little brain and you go, that would be fun to watch them play in a final game. That's one game. Now, because they're meeting here in quarters, we get to see them twice.
So
we get to see this game twice.
So
the amount of viewers is going to be twice as many.
If Foot Mob has the bracket right, and this is what I was looking at, it is Atletico, Dortmund, PSG, Barca on one end, Arsenal, Munich, Real Madrid, and City on the other.
Okay, so how the
And
graphics split is how it is.
This is where I'm hoping, like I said, in my fantasy world.
So in that respect, if that is the path, then we might be looking at an El Clasico final.
Yeah.
The final, what
You
I'm
could.
hoping for is Barca versus Munich, with Munich winning it, Leverkusen winning the league, and then hold on, the fantasy. This is Nate's lined up here.
Stuttgart gets in?
No,
Okay.
in the Pokal, Leverkusen play Schlotterbach,
And Schlotterbach win,
and Schlotterbach win.
handing Leverkusen their early loss of the season.
Yes, sir. That would be, and then Bundesliga is trying to cut a TV deal. They can go, we won the Champions League with the team that came in second. Leverkusen didn't win our Open Cup. We have one of the most exciting leagues there are, baby.
I mean,
Besides
I mean,
MLS.
it's great marketing.
Besides
Don't get me wrong.
yes.
Of course.
And
Sorry, Brooks, of course.
And we're back to reality.
Ah,
Yeah.
come on!
All
Boo!
right.
These guys
It's
don't
my
like-
birthday!
These guys don't like parody, that's why.
All right,
It's my birthday.
Yes.
Danny. This, I mean, now that it's down to this, right? You look at it, you go, okay, Arsenal, a really good team, probably not good enough to win the Champions League, right? Atleti Borussia Dortmund, probably not good enough to win the Champions League final. PSG just doesn't have it this year. They've been off. We know Kylian Mbappe is on the move. He's got his eyes on the Euros. He's also got his eyes on Real Madrid for next year.
Yep.
Barca can pull it together occasionally, but no, they've got some injuries, financial issues, everything else hanging over the club. They're not playing at Camp Nou, so that whole thing doesn't come into play. I think we all believe that Bayern have a shot at it because they are playing well. They've got Harry Kane. They're putting it together outside of their own domestic league and the domestic cup. But Real Madrid and Man City, it's got to be.
I mean, no,
That's
I
the game.
want to see a Bayern Madrid semi-final. I think that would be a really good semi-final. Me, to be honest with you.
Are we sure, because Mbappe's big move, people aren't wanting PSG and Madrid in the final?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not
I
gonna
so.
happen.
I don't
No.
believe. I'll say this. I think Arsenal, Munich, in all seriousness, Arsenal, Munich, Madrid, and City, in my mind, any four of those teams could be in the final. And I think they're going to thunderclap the hell out of the other
four.
See, the other side of the bracket doesn't make sense to me. And again, this is the whole thing
weak.
with the
It's
this is the
the
whole thing with the
rigged, right?
drawing system, right?
Yep.
Is that if you look at that, then you take once that round of draws. I'm not saying that that's rigged, but once that round of draws has been taken, then you take that round of draws and take
And redo it.
and redo it
Yeah.
again to the top teams.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if you've got Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and Man City in pot one, then they go in pot one on that side of the bracket and pot one on that side of the bracket.
Yep.
Yep.
You know?
It is, and it's bizarre that they draw it like this, but it might have to do also with travel plans for fans, right? So they can start making travel plans of, all right, where would we be going if we win this so I can book ahead? I don't know. I don't know why they do it this way. But now I do want to show you, we're going to put that back up. There's the quarterfinals for the Champions League. Here is your Europa quarterfinals
This,
draw.
in my mind,
Tasty.
The
Tasty.
working man's league.
this could be more exciting than the freaking Champions League.
We got
if you ask me.
Aubameyang on fire for Marseille.
What,
Yeah.
what? From-
Aubameyang scoring goals for Marseille.
Yeah?
Nobody cares about the French.
I'm just saying, they're just playing well.
So yeah, obviously you've got AC Milan versus Roma. Obviously all Italian matchup there. Bayer Leverkusen versus West Ham. I think we're all expecting Bayer Leverkusen to put it.
I don't know.
But West
is-
Ham,
I don't
they're
know.
a Premiership team and they can do it.
This is where we will find out this round
How good?
how good Yabi Alonso is.
Mhm.
This is how we'll find out how good that Leverkusen team is.
Yeah.
Because-
Because they're playing an average Premiership team,
Yeah,
in my
because,
opinion.
Because playing a mid-table Premier League team that not only won that, they won the Conference League last year. So I mean, they're in the quarterfinals for a reason.
Yeah.
They're a decent European club. So,
They are.
but again, this is where we'll find out how
Yeah.
good you are.
and the Liverpool-Atalanta game, I think we're all expecting. In my opinion, we're all expecting Liverpool to run the rule and win this
Well, the dream is Leverkusen-Liverpool final,
Absolutely.
right? Because that's a
Absolutely.
potential spot that
Yep.
that Jobby
I'd be
could be going.
shocked. I'd be shocked if Leverkusen and Liverpool are not in that final.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be shocked.
I don't know, maybe Captain America,
it's-
Captain Milan makes it,
Possibly with 4 straight goals, right?
Yeah.
In 4 games.
It's set up to be that way though,
Yep.
because of the way the table's out.
Yep.
Where Leverkusen.
So you're telling me this one is also rigged?
so, but
'Cause I'm buying into this rigged stuff now. By
hold
the
on.
way,
Let's look at the rankings of these teams though, right? In Italy, you got the 2nd, 5th, and 6th currently in there with Roma, at Atlantia, and Milan. You got 2 and 7 with West Ham and Liverpool. You got 1 with Leverkusen. You have the 2nd with Benfica and 7th with Marseille. These are all top end teams within their respective. This is like,
leagues.
that's what I mean. This could be more exciting. You could have a more exciting final here.
Were these all true? Were these all true Europa League starters as well at the start of the year? Were they any drop Champions League teams?
I think no.
I think
Milan was not.
AC Milan was a drop Champions League team, wasn't it?
think
Outside of
so.
Milan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone else is true.
Yep.
But I mean, Liverpool, if they're first and Leverkusen are first, you literally could have the champions of Germany versus the champions of England.
Crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
You could have Benfica playing Milan, 2 historic clubs going at it. I mean,
If you
this-
think of
this
the amount
could
of
be really
great
awesome.
soccer games we have coming up in the next 2.5 to 3 months,
Copa
boys,
America.
clear your schedules before we even get to June, before we even get to May. Clear your schedules. Like April is turning out to be a month of just
Yeah.
games every
Well, we're getting
day.
to as Martin favorite ever saying from Martin Time, we're getting to the business end of the season. The business end of the season is always the best.
Yep. And in just every game matters.
so
Every
my
game
only
matters.
hope is that somehow Liverpool stumbles here, or even West Ham, because they're chasing stuff, and Leverkusen can actually focus on this and actually win the whole thing.
I mean, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Now what I'm going to do for you guys is put up the Europa Conference League matchups.
Oh boy.
No one really cares about that except for me.
Honestly, no. There's some good teams here too. I'm sorry.
Who's in that?
There's some very historic teams on here, and no one should scoff at this
That
because you got
Lyon, Fiorentina,
Yeah.
Fiorentina,
Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce can play. Obviously, Lille are a pretty good team. Club Brugge. Yeah.
Who are they playing? I don't even know that team.
The name
Is that like a
Nate? Who's if you want to look it up in your
who's
little,
Bruges playing?
Bruges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think Villa and Fiorentina are probably the
Oh, a Greek team, Olympiacos.
Yeah,
Is that what that
Paisan.
is?
No,
FC Victoria as
Olympiacos
well.
is the other team there.
Villa and Fiorentina are probably the 2 best teams I would like to say left in the competition. But then again, Villa are also playing Manchester City and Liverpool and a Chelsea in the next couple of in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So they got those games.
Come on,
mixed in.
Brooks. You guys don't know that one?
The Bruce Luke Score says it's a Greece team.
Yeah, it's a Greece team. Payoko
Payok.
FC.
Panathinaikos.
No, Panathinaikos is difficult. This is
Panathinaikos.
P-A-O-K.
Yeah.
The
Thank you,
Kolak-
Luke and Knight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there you go.
Greece.
I mean, and there's some nice matchups here with good teams, right? Good teams as in Fiorentina, Fenerbahce, Lille.
Olympiacos is a good
Olympiacos.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Fabregas is a good team.
Absolutely.
Fenerbahce.
Lille, Lille, Olympiacos, and Fenerbahce on any given year
Fiorentina
was
was
in
never bad,
Champions
too.
League.
So listen, there's games to be watched coming up. There's absolutely games to be watched. I don't know what I'm more excited about, the Champions League or the Europa, because oh my word, the matchups there. I'd love to know what people think. Love to know what they think the outcomes are going to be. It's going to be fun. All right, before we move forward, I do again want to quickly give a big shout out to some of our sponsors. Thank you to Soccer World. Thank you to Next Level Training. Thank you to Thomas McGee's. Thank you to the Michigan Jags. Thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zach Atwood. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support you give to us. Oh, and friends, I think what we're going to do is we're going to make Nate wear a funny hat as soon as we come back.
I like hats.
from this.
tempo, yes, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch, play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Inside on touch. Play, see it, yes.
All right, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Do us a huge favor. Put a like, subscription. Do the whole share comment thing in the comments. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe.
Do the thing.
Do that thing. Yeah,
Do the
you know.
thing.
Click the button.
Yeah, the thing.
The damn link.
You know the thing.
Yeah. I got to get that in every week, right? All right, we're going to talk about, unfortunately, it's International Week next weekend. England, by the way, have some really big games. Play Brazil and Belgium at home. Two massive games that England are going to want to win.
Are they
even though
friendlies?
they're friendlies.
Okay.
Brazil, probably one of the weakest Brazilian squads I've seen in recent
One of
history.
the weakest Brazilian teams in a while.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute.
They'll smash Belgium. Belgium is
Oh, Belgium, they're past their prime, right? Before we get to England, though, let's talk about the CONCACAF Nations League roster for the USA.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right, so goalkeepers, Drake Callender, Ethan Horvath, and Matt Turner. Matt Turner's sitting on the bench. Ethan Horvath isn't actually playing anywhere, and Drake Callender plays in the MLS. So there's your goalies.
Yeah, he's pretty mediocre MLS keeper.
Yep,
So-
yes, he is.
How Salentano didn't get called in is beyond me.
Yeah, I know. Drake Calendar's just, he's made a lot of errors. That's just horrible.
You know,
Horvath, whatever. I mean, he's playing for his club, though, isn't he?
I mean,
'Cause he-
sure, great.
Yeah.
What level is that at?
No, I think he's playing for another championship club. I think.
He's playing for Cardiff City.
Yeah, Cardiff City, yeah.
It's
So,
how we can't get any better than this. And the number one keeper is going to be Matt Turner, who hasn't played consistently in
Sure.
like 4 months now. Defenders, Serginho Dest, Christopher Lund, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, good to see him there, Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson, and Joseph Scally. Nate and Brooks, your thoughts on this?
I mean, Nate and I feel that it's probably time to put someone else in, like Austin Trusty or someone, as a left-footed left center back. It's time to kind of.
We should just take Tim Ream out behind the
Yeah, because he's not playing much at Fulham, right? Isn't he sitting the bench still?
That and his age. I mean,
Yeah.
at a
37.
certain point, you got to go. He's not in our future. So
Yeah.
if you're doing a friendly, it's time to figure out who's in your future.
Yeah.
You got Jonathan Brooks, who plays regular for the Bundesliga, who's left-footed. If you must have one, I still debate that, but okay, he's a left-footed center back.
Yeah.
It plays regularly.
Trusty's
and then you got
left-footed.
Trusty, who's a left-footed center back who plays left. Why these two are not in there over him is beyond me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am happy to see that Lund is back in there. I think he has something to offer, and I think he's played very well.
Yeah, Mark McKenzie's probably done fine in Belgium. I think he plays for Genk. He's an athlete. I don't think he's very good on the ball. But the teams they're playing in Nations League, maybe it doesn't require that. Maybe it's going to be more of an athletic game, so maybe that's why you call on the players. I'm happy to see Chris Richards in. Hopefully he starts.
He's had a couple of starts in the Premiership. He's done all right.
Yeah,
He's
A
not
little bit of a
starting.
run there.
He's not starting at center back in the Premiership.
correct. He's playing a
Not anymore.
6.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he should be playing a center back.
He
in
absolutely
this
should.
team.
So
Good to see Joe Scally in there as well. Good to see that. In the midfielders, Tyler Adams, Johnny Cardoso, Luca Del Torre, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, Gio Reyna, but Luca Del Torre has pulled out injured.
Yes. So we have the replacement of Aronson's going to replace him in midfield.
Which had a man of the match for Union Berlin and scored a goal. Actually, the week he got called in, he actually did really well for them.
Now, I guess the question mark for me is Gio Reyna.
I was about to say, let me ask you this. So Gio Reyna hasn't played. He has played 14 games this year.
Yeah.
He started 3 games, and that was for Borussia Dortmund at some point, which I think may have even been in the cup. For Nottingham Forest, the last couple of games, he hasn't even made the bench.
Yeah.
Hasn't made the bench. He has taken a move from Borussia Dortmund to Nottingham Forest, and he can't get off the bench. But wouldn't you know it, he's in the roster for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
That can't happen. If the whole crap with his parents and him doesn't happen, and then him being invited back in and treating him nicely, if that whole situation doesn't happen, does he make this squad? Does he make this roster?
Well, him and Tyler Adams. No offense to Tyler Adams, he
injury.
He hasn't been playing because of injury. Correct. And then you got Mahoney, who's been playing every single match, 90 minutes, every single match, at a defensive midfielder and a center back spot. And he's not back in here?
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't bring in like Aidan Morris instead of some of them. Maybe they don't start, but they're depth pieces. I mean, obviously, you're probably going to start McKennie, Musa, and Cardoso probably, right? I would assume you probably start those 3.
Mahoney's rated as one of the better center back or better defensive midfielders in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Why he's not in this squad as an automatic go guy?
Yeah,
it's not even. I like Adams, but the fact he's played 15 minutes.
Yeah,
literally
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Why are you even calling him in? Let him rest at home, actually, and then to get healthy so he can play for his team more regularly.
Again, I think Southgate and Berhalter text all the time.
Oh,
just how stupid of moves can we make?
Think about that as a guy coming back from injury.
Correct.
Right. Where should you maybe spend some time? Danny, correct me, maybe I'm crazy. You're coming back from injury. You're playing in the Prem. Shouldn't you take that 2 weeks maybe to train with the trainers there versus being shoved into a national team spot?
It never happened with the national team in England, that.
Correct.
So it's I don't understand.
Player would have to stay with his club.
Correct.
Yeah, get some minutes in, get some reps in with maybe the second team or whatever, so you're more active now that you're back from injury. It's insane. Yeah. I don't understand what you're doing.
Yep.
All right, forwards, Flo Balogun, Ricardo Pepi, Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent, Malik Tillman, Tim Weah. Josh Sargent, unfortunately, pulls out with an injury, I believe an ankle injury.
Yeah. So Haji Wright takes his place.
Haji Wright, who scored for Coventry against Wolves yesterday, takes that spot. Good to see. I guess good to see Haji Wright. I know, but unfortunate. Josh Sargent. The funny thing is, I heard the guys on Sirius XM the other day saying, "Wait, why is Josh Sargent in this? What's he made?
He's been scoring goals.
Dude's been scoring goals. He scored 9 goals in 11 games. For Norwich. Yeah. He deserves to be in this squad.
Him and Vasquez.
People don't realize he's been scoring goals. Yeah. The man deserves to be there.
Yeah.
I'm happy that Greg Berhalter actually selected him because
yes,
he plays in the second division, right? But I'm happy he selected him. Unfortunately, he's injured. So in comes
Haji Wright.
Yeah. But shouldn't Brandon Vasquez be there? Because Brandon Vasquez has been scoring goals. So.
Yeah, it's just, if you just look at all across the board, what do they offer that's different? I think they're all on the same height.
Yep.
It's just,
they're the same height, same player.
Yeah.
So Sargent, Pepi, and Bellingham, and honestly, I would pull at this point Sargent over Bellingham because he's doing way better. But you got 3 of the same players. Mm-hmm. And if I want a big bite, at least Haji Wright he's
taller.
He's 6'4" as well. Yeah. But I would take Vasquez over him, not just because of form, just because of what he does. He's a big physical guy.
Yeah.
He's 6'3". He's scoring. He's been basically scoring an assist in almost every match that he's been in since going into Monterey.
Yeah.
Very competitively.
Yeah.
I know Flo Balogun hasn't actually been playing very well for Monaco, but he has somehow become the number 1 choice.
Well, because he's English,
and we recruited him really hard.
This
we got to prove our worth.
This is why I hate that shit, because now it's Sargent, who is always part of this team, kind of always in and out, is in form and doing well and deserves a call up, and you're overlooking him because you had to placate to some guy who couldn't make it for the English national team because he wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it's the one I'm fine with is Tillman. I think Tillman are gonna. I read that they're gonna permanently purchase him from Bayern, so it's no more of a loan. So I think he's kind of found a spot with Pepe, which is fine. But yeah, I just Tim Way has been good. Pulisic's obviously been really good as well. Like the wingers aren't the problem. It's the guy that's central, that's pivotal to the off the ball movement and giving something else that's a little different. That is just the question mark.
So I'm not very smart. I'm a shit coach. Full disclosure. Sorry for whoever hired me. Can't win a game. I'm going to turn to a sexy director off to my left. Guy who's up and coming and changing the way the game is played in a certain Ann Arbor area. You guys need a sponsor, by the way? Anyways, sorry, it just slips out. If you have some really good wingers and a really good attacking midfielder, is it, do you want a big, maybe 6'4"-ish forward who's physical and can kind of just finish in the box, or someone who just runs fast? What would be more beneficial to your system?
Speed kills.
Son of a bitch.
Speed does kill.
Son of a bitch. This is why I'm losing games.
Speed kills, and defenders are shit scared of it.
All right, Brooks, I know you wanted to quickly talk about the U23 squad. Give us a quick rundown of the U23 squad.
And you had some questions, right?
I got some questions for you.
Okay, so listen, the hot hand, right? We're going to run with Schulte because he's done well. Gaga gets called in. He's playing for his Belgian team. I think that's struggling at the, towards the bottom of the table to try to keep them up. So, Schulte, to me, for the 23s, it's either Celentano or I would have called in Chris Brady. Okay. Just Schulte for me he's got moments in games I've watched this year where he's really indecisive in the air. He comes off his line, to go get a ball, and then he backs off. He's not an international goalkeeper for me, in my opinion. He's not a bad player. He's 21. Then there's rumors of him, Man United and Arsenal wanting him, which is a joke because he's not good enough for the EPL. He's only 21 too. He's got time to grow. So I'm not quite in agreement with the goalkeepers being called in. George Campbell, a good young physical center back from the Atlanta United Academy would be good. Harry's all right from Union. Tolkien, of course, he's been in the men's national team, so obviously he'll be in there as well. Caleb Wiley has been the national team. He's a good one, good athlete, good left back. I don't know much about Maximilian Dietz. I know, obviously, I've read he's played a lot. I don't know much about him. I don't care for Brian Reynolds. And then Tompkinson's been playing for Bradford as well. Yeah.
Dietz is a baller.
German, right?
Yeah.
Second division?
Yeah.
Okay.
Firth. So
first, yeah.
No, second division for Gute Firth.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a tough league. He's Are
they in for promotion?
They were, but they kind of dropped out of form a little bit. But they're still knocking around there.
Okay.
So, but the fact he's doing it at such a young age.
Yeah.
Tough league.
Yep.
And then you got Paxton Aronson, so Brendan's little brother, which since his move, he's been playing a lot more from Frankfurt. His loan, he's been playing a lot more. Edelman's an up-and-coming guy that plays for the Red Bull, play for the second team and the first team as well. Ada Morrison there, which is a good one. Busio is an interesting one for playing for Venezia. There's rumors that he needs to move because it's just kind of getting a little easy for him.
Sure.
I know Venezia obviously want to get promoted to Serie A. McGlynn, good technical player, not a great athlete in my opinion. Good with the IQ. I mean, starts with the Union. So Tanner Tessman, I think he's an interesting specimen. I very much like him. I know you weren't crazy when he was with the men's national team for a few friendlies. He didn't play fast enough.
Not cup of tea.
He's just a different type of profile for a center mid, which I find interesting. Forwards, Barak Tarovic, he's different. I've watched him these past couple weeks. I mean, he's 19, 18 years old.
Yep.
I like him.
Yep.
I like him. I think this is a good move for him. I don't care for Gomez. Duncan McGuire will be an interesting one.
That's an interesting one for sure.
Yes.
Yep, I like
Kevin
that.
Paredes from Wolfsburg. That's a good one. Diego Luna, a good one. Cade Cowell for sure. He's been scoring goals since he's went to Guadalajara.
Yep.
And then Griffin Yao, who was at DC United, went overseas and kind of moved around a bit. He's he's been scoring goals, and he was an up-and-coming one.
So let me ask you this. Who are you most excited to see? Give me a name that you're looking to see if he can make a difference, and you're excited to see him play in this setup.
Bartarovic.
Bartarovic?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
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 I had him on the list. I also had Diogo Luna, but I really want to see Aiden Morris. I want to see, is this his year to step up? I think between him and Luna, it's the year to step up and really force your name into the senior squad. Because if it's not going to happen this year, it's not going to happen.
I think realistically from this team, the ones that could step in and play for the senior team, like have a shot to play at some point, maybe not make the World Cup team in 2026. I would say probably Caleb Wiley, because left back is still very uncertain for who's going to back up Robinson. Because you have Scally there, and Paxton probably not. I'd say Aiden Morris.
Yep.
And then I would say Bartarovic could be an interesting one. Maybe not to play his way into something because he's so young, and our wingers we have a lot of depth with them. But yes, that could be very interesting. So yeah. Maybe Cade Cowell, maybe.
I'm not sold on Cade Cowell. But he's finishing now down in Mexico.
Yes.
Give him another year or two, and we'll see where it's at.
Agreed.
I think that he's just all speed, and the lack of soccer IQ is where it lets him down.
Yes.
All right, so that is your U.S. men's national team. We talked about the U23s. Now it's time for Danny and I to nerd out on the England squad. Danny, I got some questions for you on this. All right, let's read off the keepers. We got Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale are your three keepers. This has been the same keepers for a while now. We know we're playing Brazil. We know we're playing against Belgium. Both games at home at Wembley Stadium. Brazil, the poorest probably Brazilian team we've seen in years. Belgium are way past their prime, so who knows what's going to happen there. The keepers. Jordan Pickford's the starter, right? Anybody else you'd like to see there? Because obviously Pope is injured; he's out. The Newcastle goalkeeper. Anybody else you'd want to see in here?
No, I think this squad will probably end up being what it looks like going to Euros. I would have thought, and definitely those three keepers will be probably the three keepers that end up going to Euros anyway. So I expect Pickford to play in both games. I don't expect Gareth Southgate to change it too much.
I'm concerned with Ramsdale. He makes mistakes. That mistake he made the other week against Brentford was a killer mistake. That's just silliness. I'm concerned he would make more mistakes like that. As we go to the defenders, Jared Branthwaite, good choice there. Ben Chilwell, finally back healthy again. Lewis Dunk, Joe Gomez, Ezri Konsa, Harry Maguire, John Stones, Kyle Walker. Thoughts on that defensive unit?
I don't mind it. Obviously the big one is Jared Braithwaite. What a great player he is at Everton. I don't think he'll be at Everton that long.
Definitely not.
I think he'll probably end up going in the summer. There's rumors.
Don't forget, they need money. They'll need money, so they have to sell him.
Yeah,
they'll sell him to get to FFP.
There's rumors that Man United want him and Chelsea, so he's definitely one to look at. Ben Chilwell, obviously he's playing well for Chelsea at the minute, and I think really, to be honest with you, I think the only reason that Joe Gomez is in the team, really, for me, is because Luke Shaw's injured at the minute.
Sure. Luke Shaw would be the starting left back for sure.
Shaw's definitely the starting left back for England. I think he'll give him time, and I think what you'll end up seeing is Shaw coming into that fold for Euros when he's fit. Ezri Konsa is a good centre-back choice for me. But I think, if I'm looking at that defensive back four there, I'm probably starting...
Maguire and Stones in the middle.
Walker on the right, and Chilwell on the left.
Yep,
probably that's
100%.
That's probably what it looks like.
Yep. And then obviously you go to the midfielders. Jude Bellingham, one of the best players in the world over the last 4 or 5 months. Conor Gallagher from Chelsea, who has been playing fairly well. Jordan Henderson of Ajax, who we'll talk about that in a minute. James Maddison, who's been playing well for Tottenham, and Declan Rice. Declan Rice, we know, has been a stud this year for Arsenal. They're not where they are without him. It's an interesting 5 midfielders there.
It's it's just Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson's just like,
why?
Just got to move on from that. Just really got to move on from that, I think. And to be honest, I think, if you're trying to blood the future, of the English national team, then why are we not giving Kobe Manu or Ruben Loftus-Cheek an opportunity to come in for these friendlies and play?
Let me ask you this. So, I agree with blood the future, but I also think that this is probably the best England team we've had in decades, and the Euros are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I like to put the young kids in there, but Manu has played in 23 senior games for Man United.
Right.
I don't like the Jordan Henderson pick, but do we expect him to start? Probably not.
No, I think just pull it back up for a second. I think he's I think it's there from an experience standpoint.
Yeah.
No, more than anything.
Because we want to win the Euros.
Yeah,
and
easy.
it's this. I think that'll be his last involvement.
It's definitely an experience thing. I actually think, to be honest with you, it's flooded with forwards that are actually attacking central midfielders that are not included in midfielders.
Yes.
And when you look at that midfield, me personally, I expect Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, and Cole Palmer to start in that midfield.
Yes, 100%.
That's what I expect.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
and then obviously you've got your forwards of, you know, I expect Kane to start obviously, and Saka and Foden.
Yeah.
To play.
In almost a 4-3-2-1, right? So you've got your the four defenders we talked about. Your midfield, you'll have Declan Rice, Bellingham, and Cole Palmer, and then you'll have Harry Kane up as the one. But behind him, you could have Phil Foden. And I hate to say it, he played well today.
Saka will definitely play
Saka?
off. Saka will definitely play off the right if they play in a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
You know, and
then Foden
will
off.
probably play off the left, and him and Palmer, because Palmer's played on the right side of the three and the left side of the three in a 4-2-3-1 at Chelsea. So I expect some interchange, but Foden will start. He has to.
The way he's been playing, he's been one of the best English players.
Foden has to start at Euros, and to be honest with you, I don't necessarily think it's the best squad, but I think it's the best 11 at the Euros.
So, just so everybody's aware, Harry Kane did pick up an ankle injury yesterday. He is coming back to England to have it. It's not a bad injury, they said. So there's a potential he could play. You got to think if he's anywhere close to 80%, he'll play because Gareth Southgate wants to play with his full squad. But he did pick up a small ankle injury. He is traveling back to England to be part of the squad and will be assessed. Ivan Toney, though, in this squad, that seems a bit odd.
It's an interesting one, you know, but I think he's very top-heavy on forwards, and I don't think he has a great deal of midfielders. But you can include, I mean, if you took Foden and Palmer out of that and put them into the midfielders, you go, okay, yeah, that probably looks right. But Ivan Toney for me it's a strange one considering he's only just come back. But then again, he is playing well for Brentford, so you know, I'm assuming that a couple of these players that he's brought into the squad will be players that he's looking at but not fully considering.
Sure.
You know, he's looking at.
Yeah.
You know,
Toney has to be one of those players he's thinking you're on my bubble list, and it depends how you finish up the domestic season.
Because I mean, players that he's counted on before, right?
Right.
That he's counted on before in Euros.
Yeah.
You're looking at Jack Grealish, and he's not in the squad.
Yep,
but he's injured.
Yep.
Right. And then you're looking at Raheem Sterling, who he's heavily relied on in squads before, and he's not in squad.
Yep.
You know, because he's not playing well. So, you know, I don't think that's the full squad. You know, I think what you'll start to see is you'll start to see it develop more towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know, those friendlies that coming in early June.
I agree with you. But USA and England, some strange selections from both sides, but maybe bigger things thinking ahead from those coaches, or they've just got their favorites.
And on to the German team. No,
On to the German. No, we didn't put the German team.
Pink jerseys?
You know what? We could do that next week. We could. Put
I can't wait for England to get dumped by Denmark in the group stage. Can't wait.
You can dream, my friend.
Oh, I'm not going to dream. It's going to be a
Do you know what? I would
reality.
honestly, as a very passionate Englishman,
Yes.
right?
You're gonna punch Nate.
No, I mean, I owe him the birthday. But, you know, as a really passionate Englishman, I think in years past we've got way too excited, way too quickly, and the press has put so much pressure on this squad.
Yeah.
I actually think this squad of players, this team, this manager, they can handle it because they've been into
been
a
there.
World Cup semi-final, they've been to a Euro final. You know what I mean? They've been in massive games. I actually think they can handle it. And when I look at that squad now, I'm thinking anybody that thinks that England are not going to be anywhere near the final, you're smoking crack.
Yes, you're right. Years past, we put way too much pressure on every English team, and that's why this year's different. That this year will be the year that this English team will win it all.
It's a different team.
It's a different team, but we're saying the same shit.
Well, let's actually talk logically about it. Let's talk logically about it and not just spout bullshit over a fucking microphone.
Oh, you just said the press puts way too much pressure on this team.
They do. They still are.
And then you're, and
This
then-
team
But,
can
this
handle
team has been through it.
This
They've
team
done,
can
they
handle
just
it.
went
They've
to the
been there
World
and done
Cup
it.
semifinals.
Like the Gerrard, Lampard, Beckham,
Maybe.
Scholes, Terry, Ferdinand era, where managers couldn't get the positions right or fit the players into the system. This manager's actually got it right with this group of players over the last 3 tournaments.
and they've come close. They've come
Really close, mate.
they've come close.
Hell of a lot closer
And-
than
and
Germany.
And if they can't get it over the hump this summer,
What's your
I don't know
success
what.
record with repeat managers in World Cups?
I mean, it's a different era these days, though. I think, right? It's a different
Is
era.
it?
Yeah, it's a different era.
Tell you what, he's
I mean, France's coach. I mean,
He's a one-off. You can't.
Oh, Deschamps.
yeah.
He's unreal. That's different though.
Did
Jurgen Löw was all right.
No, he wasn't. His second is.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
I think. I
what
think
international
he's
managers?
right.
What international managers that have had sustained success have been to a World Cup quarterfinal, a European final, and a World Cup semi-final in 3 tournaments?
outside
Many.
of Deschamps.
Well, I mean, different, right? I mean, Deschamps
Yeah.
has got a. I mean,
He's got a squad.
He's
on
got an
top of a
unbelievable team,
squad,
right?
yeah.
So I'm talking about English managers that have
English
done well
man-
with a squad that have been to 3 major tournaments back to back like that and done very well.
Don't you usually fire them after they fail?
We do,
we
but
do.
Okay.
Or when they make dumb
But
comments to the.
this
the
is the
press.
same guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and no, believe me, I'm one of the biggest Gareth Southgate critics sometimes. But this is the same guy that engineered the change in English football at its youth systems,
Yeah.
winning World Cups and European Cups at under 17, under 21. So
Be careful. This guy doesn't believe in under 17.
guys
I
doing
don't
something.
believe that there's you're 17 every yes. That's what I said.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I will tell you, I am on board with what Danny said there. This
Yeah, of course.
this team, I mean, just the tournaments they've been to, and it's the same players. The main players, it's the same ones. I think they can handle. But Nate, you're not wrong when
You know-
say,
you know who
wait a
else-
minute, every year the pressure, it's the pressure. It's the pressure from the fans. It's pressure from the fucking media, man.
You know who also has the same team rolling in?
Yeah,
France.
yeah, this is
At
true.
some point, that'll go.
And we should have beaten
Some point.
France in
Yes.
that World Cup semifinal.
Do you know what?
That penalty goes in, England wins.
Do you know?
If and buts.
There's a lot of
I'll be really honest with you here, right? I'll be really honest with you. There's been teams at tournaments past that I've been gone. I don't want to play them, and I'm terrified of playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a fan,
Yep.
There's not one team that worries me. Not one.
Not France?
No.
Really, not
I
France.
think-
Really?
I think we'll take
Huh.
France. Yeah.
Outplayed them in
I
the.
think you're underrating France.
I think the only thing,
Outplayed them in the quarterfinal.
Mm.
Should have won the game.
only
won the
thing,
game.
Outplayed them, mate.
Mm.
only thing that'll hurt England is underestimating an opponent.
They won't.
I don't think England
They won't.
underestimate opponents.
They won't.
Eh.
They won't.
I just, you know,
And our forward is going to be super healthy because he has nothing to play for outside of the Champions League. So, because he's lost his domestic league. So,
every good team always underestimates someone, though.
it's England usually don't underestimate people. though.
Italy.
That's not something England have ever done before.
Italy.
That's something Italy do. That's something Italy do.
When did England underestimate Italy?
They have your number.
How?
Nah,
We just
nah.
smacked them around a couple of months ago.
Yeah, was
no.
that a friendly?
Italy this is one of the worst
Smacked
Italian.
him around
This is
in
one
the
of the
Euro
worst
final,
Italian
too.
teams in the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
They're going through a hell of a
Mate,
stretch.
watch
Yes.
international football.
I do.
Watch it. Really watch
No,
it.
I
Don't just
really
watch
do.
it with Brooks and
No,
handy
I
wipes and all that sort of
really
stuff.
do. And the
Actually
one
watch
thing
it.
that I think that most English fans do is severely underrate the fuck out of all the other competition. And you roll into every tournament. It's coming home.
It's coming home. He said it.
This
Yes.
is your asshole rocked for the
This
last 50
He
years.
said it. He's right. It's
This is a
coming
fact.
home.
Name me a better team outside of France in European football right now than the English national team. I'll give you 3 seconds to answer.
I like Spain.
none.
What?
I like Spain.
You're just a dick, mate. You're
Spain.
doing the same thing that he does
No, I'm not.
with United.
No, I'm not. I like Spain. You don't think Spain's a solid squad?
Arguing
We can go
for the
back
sake
to
of
arguing about
arguing.
United if you want.
I think Germany actually has something to offer.
False.
Until Germany proves
I think
that.
Germany has Pascal Gross playing in your Premier League, and he's one of the best defensive midfielders right now when it comes to assists.
He's been
Great.
injured.
That's awesome.
This year.
That's awesome. He's not as great as Jude Bellingham.
No, he's not.
So there you go then. Shut up.
Or Cole Palmer or okay. Anyway,
Or a Phil Foden.
or
Yeah.
I'm
Phil
just saying,
Foden
sometimes
away.
those like other Eastern European countries, like they have surprise squads that aren't that bad
It's
actually.
not a
The English
surprise
don't ever
squad if you,
underestimate
I don't
them.
know, pay attention to international football outside the Premier League.
England have the best
that's true.
midfield at the tournament.
May even have the best front line.
May even have the best front line. Arguably have the best goal scorer.
Best doesn't always win you
He
everything
scored
though.
30 goals in your league. 31 goals, by the way, set a record. Another record.
You could
Harry
actually
Kane.
hit, you could actually beat it. Yeah,
For sure.
He
Could actually
could
beat
beat
him.
that record,
Could actually
but he
beat
is
him.
Not
already set
inviting
a
you over to my
record.
house anymore.
could actually beat
He's
it.
already set a record.
And what
because
league
he's
is
the
that
first-
again?
The Bundesliga, sir.
And what's that league dominated with?
Now it's English. The English are taking
No,
over.
one player, two.
What?
I believe Germans.
The Germans are not coming there.
So it's almost like they might know how to play him.
Oh, good lord.
Hmm.
Oh, good lord. All right, I think right now is a great time to play
segment?
our new segment,
Yeah.
Danny's English slang.
Yeah.
So Danny's going to say some English slang.
He's just gonna call me a waker for
Yeah,
5 minutes.
5 minutes straight.
What does that mean?
And Brooks is going to try guess what it means.
Oh my
Actually,
God,
where it
I'm
comes
in
from.
on this. I'm just gonna sit back and laugh.
So we're going to learn some English slang from Danny.
Oh my
Danny,
God.
what do you got, my friend?
Oh fuck, you know.
That's not it, is it? Because we all know that one.
Is that a term of endearment?
Oh, darn.
Can I say something stupid about this idiot to my right?
I mean, go for it. It's like English slang.
All right. So in the context of a conversation, I would turn around Brooks and I would say, "It's not my cup of tea." That.
Okay. So you just disagree. Like it's not. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. So yeah, it's not for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I got that one. There's some ones he puts in the group text where I'm
Yeah.
like, that's interesting.
I got one for you.
Okay.
My dad always says this. To
Okay.
me, and it has nothing to do with football or soccer, by the way.
Okay.
He says, he says, what are you doing next week? And I say, I got a wedding to go to. He was like, oh, did you go and get the whistle and flute out?
Huh.
So
Yep.
Oh, suit.
You gotta
Okay.
get your suit.
you
Whistle and flute.
You ever heard the expression that it's raining cats and dogs?
Yes.
Right, you've heard that one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or, get yourself up the apples and pears.
I don't know that one.
Stairs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ma!
Okay.
Ma!
Ah.
Ma, the dog and bone.
Interesting.
Ma, the dog and bone.
I don't know that.
Mom, the dog and bone.
Mom, the meatloaf.
Oh, Mom, the telephone's ringing.
Oh. Okay.
The one I always like is like Thomas Tuchel's about to get the old tin tack.
Just get canned.
Get the old sack.
The sack, the
tin
tic tac.
sack.
Okay.
So that has been English slang
Ah.
with Danny and Brooks.
Ah.
Now I have a game for all of you. All the fun.
Oh, boy.
All the fun people watching, and then you guys in the studio here. So this is a game we debuted last week. It's Name That Player. So I'm going to give a bunch of clues, and you guys are going to take a guess as to what player that is. So
Is it a player from the Farmers League in Germany?
Hope for it.
hoping for it. All right.
Yeah, because then I'll know it. You know, that
All right.
same Farmers League that
That just
dominates all European competitions.
Dominate.
That midfield just got his shit pushed in today by an 18-year-old Kobe Mainu. Yeah, Endo and Schlob was like, yeah.
I got to find my
Good
notes.
German
I got to find my notes.
Wait, don't. We gotta hide them. You gotta hide them on the. You can't
Yeah.
share.
I know that's.
Yeah.
All right, we ready?
Does someone want to tell that Danny that Endo is Japanese and Slobosai is from Hungary?
They both played.
Japanese have done well in World Cup.
Didn't they both play in the German league?
They did, but
Okay.
they're not going to play in for Germany. So
What's that guy that you always talk about in place of Villa? Diaby. Didn't
Yeah.
he play in the German league? But he's a different country. But you always turn on
He's-
about
he's
the fact
France.
that he's from the German league.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that stupid
is.
Farmers League.
Well, by
Anyway,
the
off you go,
way,
mate.
he's not doing very well in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He's kind of gone downhill. So
You know who's also from the German league? Jude
Yeah.
Bellingham.
yeah. What?
And
Oh,
Ernie
good
Helen.
Lord. All right, we ready? All right. Name that player. 28-year-old U.S. men's national team player made his debut for a Bundesliga team in a Champions League match against CSKA Moscow.
Christian Pulisic.
28-year-old.
He's currently
He's
20.
He's currently
Current-
20.
Oh,
Okay.
currently
Currently
28.
U.S. men's national team player. Okay. Next one. Ready? He's played 15 games for the U.S. men's national team, scoring 4 goals.
Wait, is this the same player?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving you clues about one player.
God, he played for Do you say he played for Dortmund? Jeez.
I didn't say who he played for.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
You assumed, my friend.
I did, yeah.
You assumed. Okay.
20.
Wait, there's actually a US player that scored 4 times in the Bundesliga. Give the guy.
It's
a
not
credit.
Weston. It's not Weston McKennie.
Now, every
younger than
comment, now
28.
every comment out of Danny's mouth is going to be a backhanded towards
Yeah,
anything
yes.
German because he's hurt.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, double check in the the comments. Make sure no one's guessing there. He's played against Inter Milan in a preseason friendly and scored a hat trick in a 4-1 win here in the USA when he was playing for his first Bundesliga team.
Serginho Dest? No.
I told you I'd have to make this one a little bit harder because you guessed it too quick last week.
I did.
folks. All right, ready?
Gio Reyna.
Nope. Nope. All right, the next clues will give it away. The next clues will definitely give it away. He has played for Stuttgart. Oh, I thought you were going to get
Oh,
it without.
Pifak.
Nope.
Damn it.
Oh, I know who it is then. Am I allowed to answer?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can guess.
Julian Green?
Nailed it.
Ah.
Winner. Currently playing in Bundesliga 2 for Goethe Fürth.
I forgot that he scored a hat trick for the
Yeah,
US.
that was in a preseason friendly when Bayern Munich. He went over to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
He had 2
He
spells
was there for a
on
day.
loan, came back. They took him on tour. It was Carlo Ancelotti who gave him the start in a preseason friendly against Inter Milan where they won 4-1 here in the USA. Yes.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of the player.
He's a USA player.
Well, let's
Former.
just say he's not going to
Was-
be in the
did-
squad
did he,
anytime
did he
soon.
come through the US ranks?
He went right over to Europe,
He went over
actually.
to Europe.
Yeah,
His,
went
his
right over
family, I think his dad's German.
Yes,
Yeah.
his dad is
He's
German.
always been in Germany.
born
I
in
believe.
Florida, but he's mostly lived over
Yeah.
He's
there.
been in the second division for the last,
Yeah.
Wait, was he the guy that went to Newcastle?
No.
No, that's DeAndre Yedlin.
Yeah, that was Yedlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but wasn't there another one that went there?
No.
No, Rangers.
Tillman?
No. The current announcer for Apple, tall. He graduated.
Marcus Edu?
Yeah,
Maurice Adu. Maurice Adu. Yeah, he went to Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland. Yeah, I went.
Philadelphia
I watched him in
Union,
Combine,
TFC.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty fun game of name that player. Nate with the win.
Yeah.
Well done, Nate. Took a little longer than I thought.
I thought
the
it was just with him. You didn't.
No, it's everyone.
No, you're
No.
guessing too.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
really thought
Did
the
you know
Stuttgart.
that?
I did.
Why didn't you let
I was
me
too
know?
pissed at you. I didn't want to say anything.
Ah, come on.
All right.
Listen, I just set you up. You should be happy.
Yeah.
Because when it does come home, because England does have a good squad, you can dunk on me for like weeks.
Oh, I'm gonna dunk on you.
Is
in
he
the
doubling
summertime.
back?
I'm gonna
Is he
dunk
just
on you.
double back a
I'm gonna
little bit?
dunk on you in the summertime because when England win Euros, I'm gonna shit all over your head.
I mean, you are tall enough to.
Oh, my
All right,
God.
onwards, boys. All right, we got some news we're going to talk about here. Big news. AC Milan forward Olivier Giroud is actually interested in a move to Major League Soccer. At the end of the season, should the Italian club AC Milan opt to not extend his contract, the sources are saying that he would prefer a move to the MLS. He was thinking about it last year when they extended his contract again for a year. He is 37. He is France's all-time leading goal scorer with 56 goals. He spent the last 3 years in Milan, and he helped to win the Serie A title in 2022. He would prefer to stay in Milan, though. He has come out and said that, but should the club not want to extend him for another year?
Inter Miami just cleared some cap space.
So
He never played for Barcelona, though,
Yeah.
so there's no way he's going there.
interesting, though. I mean, hey,
I think he's gonna
actually
go to-
come out and said it, but he's 37, man.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be
Yeah,
something,
so it's-
like a Suarez thing where it's a one and done.
Like he'll come for a year.
Yeah, because that's what Suarez is doing. It's a one and done, and he retires
Yeah.
after this year.
That's
One and done and win everything. Then retire.
Yeah,
37 is prime. In the
37 is the
37
prime.
is prime in the MLS.
Yeah, it's not far off.
He'll probably go play with Hugo Lloris at LAFC or.
I was
do
about to
something.
say, I don't think he goes to Inter Miami. I think this is a LAFC, LA Galaxy, maybe in New York.
I mean,
Orlando.
NYCFC needs players, that's for sure.
He's definitely not going to a Kansas City or an
He is-
Austin or
He
somewhere
is
like that.
good looking enough for New York, I think.
Yeah.
I actually kind of thought he'd be
He's
interesting in
LA.
FC Cincy.
He's an LA.
He would be
He's an
great.
LA guy.
He's an LA.
He would add a little stuff for FC Cincy.
Hey, man.
He is not going to the cold depths of Ohio.
No.
It's
He's
not
going-
cold in Cincinnati,
Not
actually.
that cold.
He's the
He ain't
cold
going to
depths of hell or
Cincinnati.
whatever it's called. He's going to LA.
Yeah, he's an LA
He's
boy
a
for
he's
sure.
a GQ.
I could see him.
model.
I could see him going to New York, though.
Yeah.
Well, so
Really?
excuse me.
And modeling in New
At
York.
this moment in time in New York,
Yeah.
Like,
with
yeah.
everything that's
It's
going
the
on
Big
in New
Apple,
York.
Danny.
What's going on in New York?
You know what's happening in New York?
You know what's happening in New York?
I forgot what's happening in New York.
What's happening in New York?
We're a soccer show, but I'll tell you off the air. You know,
Okay.
you guys are so closed off to what's going on in your own
Yeah, I
bloody
know.
country.
This is like going to my parents' house and
What's
like, are
happening
you
in New York?
hearing what's going on? And so and so. I go, no, I just read about soccer.
I mean, a bunch of commercial real estate buildings, just like kind of not, being vacant.
We'll take it for another.
yeah.
We'll take it for another one.
Okay.
But,
All right.
but it is interesting there. But I definitely see him in a big city, not a mid-table, right?
Columbus.
Never know.
Yes. We did mention it earlier, but he has actually. I believe he's come out and said it. Julian Nagelsmann is actually looking.
Bagelsman.
Bagelsman is
Bagelsman.
is actually looking at the Dortmund job. Should be available. He is contracted with the German national team through the end of the Euros.
Yeah.
He would like to sign a contract with Dortmund before the Euros, coach the Euros, and then jump right in to club season. I could actually see that happening.
I'd
I
love
could
to see him at Dortmund.
I think it'd be a
think
good
it'd be a
move
good
for
move.
him
I think it
because
would.
I think Dortmund
Who's going
showed.
to Bayern?
What?
Who's going to Bayern?
That's a good question because Sebastian Hoeneß just extended his contract at Stuttgart. So the big rumor of him going because it was going to be up in 2025, he just extended it for another 3 years.
Wow.
He'd be smart if you put a clause in there
You
saying
know, there's
if anybody comes in.
He has all his players. No, but the clause that he has actually gives him a lot of power within the board.
there's a pretty famous coach out there that's never coached in Germany.
Oh, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
You think
That'd
so?
be
You
so
think
good.
it could be an option?
Never coached in
That
Germany.
would
At Bayern?
so not work and it'd be awesome.
I say, please do the documentary, right?
So Amazon, get your ass over
right.
there now.
all right, one. Yeah,
The Germans don't even get along with the German board. Like what? Like how?
I do want to say, all right, well, I do have one more piece of news, but I have a question I want to jump in. It kind of leads in. There's a documentary, a Klopp doc, which is coming.
Netflix.
Netflix and Disney are currently bidding on it, so that's coming.
Yeah.
There's also a documentary this summer coming of Jose Mourinho. Which one of those are you looking more forward to watching?
Oh, the Jose Mourinho one.
Really? I think the Klopp doc.
I would watch them both.
Oh, that's a
but
tough one.
I
I
watch
thought the
them both.
Jose Mourinho was 2025.
I thought it was this summer. Is it 25? Anyway, it's coming.
Yeah.
I guess it's going to depend on what it's covering.
I don't care. They're going to be good. But
No,
Danny,
I do
I've
care.
got-
Mourinho?
I've got no doubts that the Mourinho one will cover Chelsea, Man United, what happened at
For
Roma,
sure.
Real
Behind the
Madrid,
scenes of Roma.
also,
Okay.
yeah.
So if
yeah.
if it
It'll be
does
like
that,
four episodes or 5. or
right.
6.
If it does
Yeah.
that, I'm interested. If it's
Yeah.
just him trying to find a job, not interested. You know.
don't think
And then same thing with Klopp. Like if it's Klopp's last season and somehow he wins the league and maybe the Europa, then that could be
Well,
interesting.
they're filming that right now, right?
Yeah.
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 They've been
He's
filming
never
for a while.
previously let cameras behind the scenes, though.
Right.
He's been notorious for no.
He is
Now it's
tired.
happening. He's what?
He is tired.
He's tired. Yeah. What was his? Yeah, I'm just tired. Is that what
I'm
it is?
tired.
Tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do the German
Yeah,
accent.
Sir Alex was really tired over 26 years.
You know what though? Klopp does this. He leaves teams on his standing
Yeah.
when he
they all
feels it's
do.
right.
They all do. Pep does the same thing. When
Yeah.
Pep's done with his shiny little toy, he'll move on to the Spanish national team.
It's called smart, right? It's a good
Well,
thing.
no, it's not called smart, really. It's just called money.
Yeah.
It's just called money.
And I fully do believe that Klopp will be in the new manager at Germany.
The
And I
national
don't-
team.
Yeah, and
Sure.
I don't
yeah.
think Xavi's going anywhere. I don't think Hoeneß is going anywhere.
You don't think Xabi Alonso's going to go anywhere?
Nope.
Really? You think
Unless
he's gonna
Liverpool or
stay?
bust, but there's a lot of rumors saying that he is going to stay because he has full autonomy over that squad.
I would put money on Liverpool right now, man.
Yes.
I would put money on it.
Yeah, we'll see. But there's a lot saying that he is really happy there.
The thing is, like, why? Do you know what's really difficult? Right, really difficult. And United found this out, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing with Liverpool, and it'll definitely be the same thing with Manchester City. It is so difficult to follow a manager that's had success.
Oh my word, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, I tend to agree with him first time ever, but I tend to agree with him
We've
that
agreed once or twice
Yeah.
on things.
that they're getting Champions League, right?
Yeah.
They are getting Champions League. They're nigh on for the league title, right? And
Absolutely.
they could add a Europa League title to this. So
Yep.
he's going to get a boatload of money to spend in the summertime, to bring players in, which he'll probably spend wisely, to bring other players in. And why wouldn't you stay at Leverkusen for another year just to see what you do in the Champions League?
And the Pokal too. His chances are they're going to win that. So it's So a team that has always been called Neverkusen, you're now the first manager historically going to win it, which is you're almost mathematically in. There's still a mathematical probability that Munich could win it, but they would have to win out, and you would have to like lose pretty much almost everything.
Yep.
So it's still there. But yeah, I mean,
It's legendary status at
Yeah.
Leverkusen, that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
legendary
Oh,
status.
yeah, absolutely.
Like they'll put a
That's
statue. They'll put a statue in the
Yeah.
front of the
Like,
stadium
if they
for
had
you.
the Pokal or the Europa League or
Yeah.
both to it, guys made for life at
Right.
Leverkusen.
Yeah.
and you got to look at it this too. Munich's kind of a dumpster fire right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So your best team that would always challenge is a bit of a dumpster fire.
Aren't they currently paying 3 coaches?
Dortmund is going through, we just talked about it, a change, a
Yep.
bit of an issue.
Yep.
Stuttgart's like your biggest rival that's up and coming. And I hate to say that because it's just like, so you could do another league title. Like,
I don't want to follow Jurgen Klopp if I'm
Yeah.
if I'm a manager. And I
No,
don't-
you definitely don't want to
I
follow
don't-
a
and I
manager like
don't-
that.
And I don't know who they get. Like, who
Watch De Zerbi go there and fail.
according to Fabrizio Romano, that the talks are ongoing behind the scenes right now with Xabi Alonso in Liverpool. That's what
I
he
don't-
keeps
I-
reporting every week, that
I
the
don't-
talks are happening.
I don't believe that there's not talks, but there's also strong talks out of
Oh, yeah.
the German side that he's talking about staying at Liverpool. So there's probably talks on both ends.
If he's smart, he is talking to Liverpool,
Yeah.
and then he's coming back to Bayer Leverkusen and saying, "Yeah, I'm talking, but this is what they're about to throw at me. So look what I just won for you. You want to give me a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more?"
I think he stays because at the end of the day, right? He played at Liverpool. He also played at Real Madrid. Ancelotti's got 1, maybe 2 years left in him.
Yeah.
You
And he
know,
wants the Real Madrid job.
I would think.
Everybody wants a Real
Yeah, but
Madrid job.
If you're getting Mbappe
Oh, yeah.
and you've got Vinny
Yep.
Jr. and Bellingham, and they're going to add another Galactic. Imagine if they got Haaland as well.
You still got Courtois, who's back in there. You got Rudiger back in. I mean, you got
Valverde, you've just got you've got Rodrigo. You've
Yeah.
just got such a great amount of talent that
Yep.
I would expect Alonso to go to Real Madrid. at
Which
some
goes
point.
back to my theory of you stay if Liverpool's not your dream job, you stay one more year, right? You just stay.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. All right. Do you guys know the #1 selling Adidas jersey this past year?
Messi.
Messi. Absolutely. It's an MLS jersey. Adidas has come out and said the top selling jersey is an MLS jersey. It's a Lionel Messi jersey. Not surprised. I'm not surprised in any way whatsoever.
No.
Adidas helped bring the man to the USA. Had to have done. So, yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah. But it's a shocker. I read something on one of my CNBC articles that they're actually not doing very well because of Kanye West stuff that he has, the Yeezy stuff. That they're losing money on that because no one wants to buy it. So there you go.
Yeah, didn't they dump that and had to just like
Yes.
dumped the brand?
Yes,
No one
yeah.
wants to. Yeah, can you believe it? I
Yeah.
can't-
So this is like the first year in like 20, 30 some years or whatever they haven't been profitable.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Even with Messi and having that
Yes.
big jersey sales,
Yes,
that's incredible.
I know.
It really is incredible.
Because all the excess Kanye stuff, no one wants to buy.
They had that much Kanye stuff?
Yes, they put so much into his clothing line that, they have so much left over that no one wants to buy, or they're selling it at a cheap price.
That could be some of the worst business decisions I've ever seen a company make.
Correct.
Even worse than Todd Bowley's
Yes.
at Chelsea's.
Yes.
I mean, good Lord.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap us up for the week. Appreciate everybody joining us. Do us a huge favor. If you're listening on a podcast, give us 5 stars and share it. Hopefully you left a comment. Hopefully you gave us a like no matter what platform you're on. Again, I want to say a big thank you to some of our partners and sponsors. Thank you to Soccer World. Thank you to Next Level Training. Thank you to Thomas McGee's. Thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. Thank you to the football doc, Zach Atwood. Appreciate all of you and the love you show us. For everybody who was watching today, appreciate it. We'll be back same time next week. Cheers.